kind of shares the same sentiment that we've been talking about on the desk. It lets us know that we've been doing our job right. Lothar, talk to me. He touched upon, the difference between Jet as the aggressor and the operator. How do you think, these kind of changes are looking to influence the Liquid squad?
I'm so happy that Scream actually mentioned all of that, because this is something that we had talking, behind the curtain for a long time. And in general, in the world, there was a few sentences about Jet being told in general, right? First, everyone thought she's useless. Then everyone discovered the operator Jet, and that she's just so OP, right? But the metagame evolved into a point where on attack, you can't as a team you cannot have a Jet with an operator on attack unless someone will compensate with another duelist that will create the space. But Jet is the best at creating space because of the Jet dash into a smoke. Cloudburst is just so powerful when it comes to just creating this uncertainty and intimidation factor for the opponents. So teams struggle if they play Jet on attack with an operator. This is why we see a young Omen. Sometimes on a Sova,
panggil gue lagi Bay kalau udah mulai. Gimana gue manggil lo?
Scream is the main guy that creates that space for the team. That's his job. This is why we also have seen a lot of changes in the compositions from
dibikinin gue Bay sama Albertus Rama.
Sky, we have Breach alongside the
udah mulai Bay. Dikit lagi. 8 menit lagi.
Amazing agents right now because they feel
cuma
more like
gue live-in aja dari sekarang biar kita bisa ngobrol-ngobrol dulu nyantuy. Seru nih Blay. Seru nih. Harusnya ini seru nih.
The compositions are wide open when it comes to like what teams want to play, but at the same time, the teams need to keep up with the consistency, and that's something that Liquid struggled in the close qualifier. But I'm hoping that we're just maybe saving some strats. Maybe they didn't want to show everything. We have seen that in the past. But in general,
pegang siapa?
I love this patch. I love Valorant, the way the game is being approached by teams, because every single event we're gonna see something new, and Liquid and Fnatic are gonna be amazing at that. So I really look forward to this match because there are gonna be some
buru-buru matiin telepon gue padahal masih
rounds for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like even then you talk about like the new patch, right? Like Jet's kit obviously got like more expensive as well. So even for me, like I get excited over the idea of no longer having it all in the hands of someone where their kit is like so ludicrously expensive. But yeah, no, I'm really looking. You guys are getting me so hyped, bro. You're doing a great job. I'm so ready for this, and I think for us to be truly ready, we've got to look at the opponents. Right? We've only looked at one team so far. I'm of course talking about
nontonin game ini doang ya.
Don't really need an introduction.
Game selanjutnya malas
recognizable faces, but Hypoc, I still want you to do them justice. So help get me accustomed to these Fnatic boys.
I mean, the last few months have been great for this roster. They've gone from strength to strength in my eyes. It's been great to watch them really embrace all of the early characterizations. I guess
marahin balik,
buset. I mean, since Durko and Magnum have stepped into this roster, I think they've had a massive improvement in terms of upgrading their frontline firepower. And I think Reykjavik actually was the first time we've really seen what Durko's capable of in terms of facing off against some of the best players from around the world. These guys are always, for me, the gold standard in the region in terms of these meta changes, both the major and the subtle ones. I think the key stakeholders in that process are obviously Boaster and Mini, but I want to give a special shout out to Doma. Maybe somebody considered doesn't necessarily get a lot of love, but we think back to being that original kind of Raze go-to for Fnatic, and now kind of that constant development for this roster. I think has time and time again proven to be a versatile tool for them, with his ability to kind of switch up roles, agents, whatever it be, and be the final piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, I really love this like head-to-head of these two squads. I love that it's something we've had so much. But something I was curious about, Lothar, was how did this Fnatic squad get on in the closed qualifiers?
Well, they lost to G2, right? They lost to G2, and it felt like this is a big test for them. Will they go for the lower bracket? And they did, of course. But losing against G2, I feel like it was a bit of a surprise because we don't know what to expect from G2. Right? It's basically a new team, 40 players coming in. And we have seen from Fnatic some changes as well, like the bind composition that we have seen against G2. Everyone thought maybe it's more of like a joke, right? People are saying actually that, but it makes so much sense when you think about it. Borsa is the IGL that always comes with those news ideas that we're playing triple smokes. Well, actually triple, but there was Brimson, Astra, and a Viper. Viper is like a secondary smoker, but they play so much
Sentinel
utility.
bakal seru
They play
lawan
duelist, less comps,
Pace.
right? And that's something that people
Lawan 100
first think it's insanity. Maybe they're just trolling, you know. But once you see the plan, like just comes in
Pace
place,
100
just
T1
all the
lah.
pieces are fitting there, and this is why Fnatic and Liquid
Kayak
are the best
kalau
in
antara
Europe.
tiga
This is
tim itu
why
ketemu,
they always
nobarin sih,
forefront
kalau
and
enggak
spearhead
kayak
meta changes.
mager ini.
And just I'm looking forward because I'm sure that something was going to happen on the new maps. Remember, in the open qualifiers, sorry, the close qualifiers, Fnatic only played few maps, right? We have seen them play against Tenstar, they won 2-0. We have seen them lose against G2 2-0, and then they play against Wave Esports when it was 2-1. There's not much sample size when it comes to stats, analysis, when it comes to compositions, and so on and so on. So this is also a very big question mark. What we're going to witness in this match, what we're going to witness going forward, because all of those news changes in the patches are, are amazing. And also, don't forget, Breeze, right? Breeze is a big game changer for teams. It's a map that plays like nothing else in the game so far.
I'm really glad that you've spent all this time talking about maps. I feel like you've set me up perfectly because we've actually got the map vetoes ready. So let's. Oh, actually, we don't have them ready. My bad. I'm too eager to get this started. Man, so like going back to this Fnatic point, like taking a look at like the new patch, because I think we've undergone a lot of changes right now. Talk to me about like some of the kind of winners
dari Rascalov, pesan gelombang petik terbalik. Akeong tanda pagar $% pangkat dan asteris, garis bawah plus sama dengan.
So talk to me, do you think any agents have come off better from this?
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of agents that come on top. Like first comes to mind, of course, is Sky and Breach. Jet, on the other hand, lost a little bit of power, but I feel like she was just so...
Lu bikin yang garang dong, yang mencerminkan gua banget,
Blay. More level-headed, but still has the biggest factor, which is the dash that didn't get changed, right? But the economy in general for the game changed in a way where it's more important to think
kayak orang kalau ngeliat thumbnail gua, serem banget bang,
and make sure that even on the lower buys, you still have the power of the utility. That was something that we have seen before in Valorant, where there were so many eco losses, right, against eco buys, because we just had so much utility that was so powerful against the full buy opponents.
I think it's an interesting point as well, and Jets, well, we could talk about it for hours, but I mean, also we talk about kind of that being one of the agents that's most effective in like these eco or light buy rounds, right, in terms of being able to afford full utility and potentially have that Blade Storm online, and obviously with the ult counter changing as well, that literally single-handedly in terms of full purchase of kit, light armor, you can win around.
Jet tapi yang jantan Jetnya. Ini kan betina nih, thumbnail betina nih. Tapi gue suka thumbnail begini, gue suka. Versi yang jantannya.
On sheriffs across the rest of the team, maybe another ultimate implemented as well, but it's a real consideration to make now that you can't go full util on kind of these scrappy force up sort of things. Hope that the Jet can do something on the ground that they can't afford an operator, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, man, I love it whenever you've had changes and you have like that time period of like adjustment where everyone's coming around and figuring out the new little tricks of the trade. And talking of the tricks of the trade, I understand that now we do actually have the map VO ready, so I've nailed it this time. We're all good. We need to know the battleground in which these two squads are gonna go head to head. Ooh, I haven't actually even seen the screen either. Look, man, we got Slice boxes out for Liquid. That makes sense. We see them kind of lean away from that. It's one that's good for Fnatic. Splits out for Fnatic. It's Breeze, Bind, and Haven. How's this making you guys feel?
Oh my, this is gonna be amazing. So for Liquid on Breeze, they played 2 times so far on this map in the close qualifying.
Match selection Breeze
of a Viper. So this combination of Sky and Viper is very meta, but it just works so well because the flashes are enabled by the Viper wall, which creates space, right? Cypher has a global range on the entire map. This is why he's superior to his Killjoy. So Breeze is a fantastic way of just showcasing newer type of Valorant.
10.000 dari Rasjalov, pesan
Lu teleponan sama gua aja, gua udah kayak ngomong sama Prasasti ya bangsat, mau nobar. Gua ajak ngomongnya dia mulu, kerja mulu, udah korporat. Goblok.
As soon as it's available, they're straight in a custom game, they're geeking out, they're finding the cheese, they're trying to make something work. But I think compositionally, this is a really interesting one. Potentially Liquid picking this up because, I mean, Wave did topple Fnatic on Breeze. So maybe there is a consideration to make there. The Liquid are feeling a little more comfortable and a little, I guess, better rehearsed so far. But I wouldn't expect Fnatic to come into this without something up their sleeve.
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, like that's the thing. Like, whenever you do have teams like this where they're so quick to try and, you know, race to the top and be the ones to like set the meta, I always find that them to be the most exciting, right? They'll be the ones that take the biggest risks, the bigger gambles, and it's all with the goal of trying to shape how the very map that we're looking at right now is played. That excites me, Lothar.
Udah gue spanky. Mentalnya gue spank. Gue baru sadar, oh iya ada beginian ya. Di atas Breeze ya. Terus ada
because that's a big talking point about Breeze, right?
Gue pernah ngomongin itu pas gue review map ini.
When it comes to Viper and this patch as well, the snake bite is no longer 8 seconds long, it's 6.5, but it's actually above when you consider it because it just deals fast damage, and it has like instant damage as well.
Every cloud, Lothar.
Viper always gets stronger.
Yeah, well, you know, people are happy about that change, but I feel like the thing is, Viper is the strongest when it comes to execute actually not post-plant, because she has so much utility that she can clear so many angles by herself.
Yeah.
Of course, it's more expensive, but it's now in line with the other characters as well, right? The Snakebite is for 200 credits, but it's still a very cheap kit. It's only 600 credits for the entire kit, right? Full buy, right? So when you play on a map like Breeze, if you don't use those Snakebites to clear corners and the map is pretty big, right?
Suara streamingannya cukup gak?
So you have to compensate for that, right? Because essentially you're not using your full utility to be able to execute, right?
10.000 dari B, pesan prediksi Fnatic Liquid gimana, Sen?
Prediksi Fnatic Liquid.
Both of the sites. Obviously, there's two very, very tight choke points to get in, but that wall covering up a much bigger area, right? In terms of if we made a comparison to what Omen can close off in terms of space, or Brimstone can close off in terms of space, and obviously with Sky now becoming, in my eyes, a must pick alongside Viper on a couple of maps now. I mean, you think about the execution possibilities, it's so much bigger than playing another controller.
Well, the thing is, Brimstone doesn't really make sense on two maps, on Icebox and Breeze, right? His smokes are not big enough, but the more important factor is that his range of setting up even the smokes is not covering the entire map. You cannot really do any kind of, let's say, fakes and so on. This is why Astra and Omen are superior when it comes to just map control and being a lurker as well. We have seen Bosa in the past being an Astra lurker because he can just use his utility. There was a moment where he got caught off guard, but you know that can happen. But the thing is, those teams are thinking about that, right? This is why I love Bosa when it comes to like the innovation, right? He was playing Astra as a lurker. That makes a lot of sense also on maps like Breeze and Icebox. But what you mentioned, Viper is crucial on those maps on Icebox and on Breeze because her wall is just so long. And even though when she commits to one side, right, you can always use it as a fake out. You can make a lot of fakes with just Sky and Viper. What we mentioned before, the creation of space.
Terus udah bisa stabil dengan player baru dia Bani, menurut gue bisa banget.
With his wall for few seconds,
Tim saya
can do that and put like the team in a very good spot for the entire round.
Jadi maksud
because
gue, Boom masih bisa
15 seconds, it will get refilled in 20, so you can just wall it up again, make a flash through the wall. This is why Sky is superior towards Breach, on those maps, and just make your opponents feel uneasy on those maps. This is why those controllers that have global range are now superior on the newer maps. Cypher,
SMG mayan sih, tapi gue menang mulu kayak lawan SMG.
Man, I love just hearing you two go to town talking about your, like really nerding out with the Valorant. It's great to see. I do have to start to kind of ask you guys to give me your predictions here, right? Like
10.000 dari Rascalov. Pesan, halo Alwan, apa kabarnya? Makin hari makin mirip Mansen Asteris Akeong.
Sakit, Becky.
I hate to say it, but if Liquid will play on the same level that they played in the close qualifier, I think Fnatic will take it 2-0. But I'm hoping for a very close match right now, and that Liquid will bring the
VS jago bro. VS
All right, Hypark, how are you feeling? You gonna go against Lothar? You gonna go against the grain, or are you guys on the same team?
No, I'm predicting Fnatic as well, and I think we look back at maybe disappointments along both journeys to get here in terms of performance of the open qualifiers. But I think Fnatic will be the ones that bounce back harder, so to say. They would have been the ones straight in there and trying to fix and tighten up a lot of these mistakes. And honestly, I don't think we've seen really Fnatic do what they want to do on Breeze just yet. I think they're the prime suspects for saving something for down the line.
Yeah, and so we have a little bit of a moment, I think, till we get into the agent select. I haven't heard anything regarding that yet, but we've kind of spoke a little about some of these agent compositions. There is some stuff that really interests me that I would love to know a little more about, right? You already touched earlier on this no duelist triple smoker, I guess, double smoke and then secondary smoker setup that I like to run. I think that's such a sick idea, man. Can you give me a bit more of an insight into like the mentality behind going for this triple smoke setup?
Yeah, it's very interesting approach to the game because it's both powerful attack and defense. Typically would feel like, oh well, they will lack something on attack, right? They will lack something on defense, but it's actually filling each other's shoes in a different way that you have seen the other compositions. An example on A side, when Fnatic plays defense, they have a way of setting up just an impenetrable wall on both showers and on A short. A short is being covered either by Brimstone or by Astra by putting a one-way smoke. They can also do it in intervals, right? So it never goes down.
Ini match keberapa? Ini match ke-8,
which is also one way on the exit of it. So and we know it gets refueled, so every now and then you get it back, and otherwise when there's the interval of not having utility there, you can use either the molly from Brimstone or the mollies from Viper. So they work in tandem. They are essentially like those three agents fill each other roles when there's a need during the round, and this round goes for 135 seconds. But if the opponents cannot just not go through the A sides, any of those choke points for 1 minute and 20 seconds, what do you do? How do you try to bait out the utility when there's just so much of it, right? And this is why those triple smoke composition has so much power, especially since the other two agents that are being picked to fill the gaps are the ones that have either vision, right? Which like the Sova drone, which now costs 400 credits, of obviously a little bit more expensive, but it still is one of the best utility in the game. Will just clear so many corners
green screen
by using smokes and pushing people out, right? Because they will not play in the smokes for sure, because otherwise you're gonna get met with those mollies, with the breach stun, and changes on him are nuts. It's insane. The entire kit looks completely different. Before, Breach was like, oh, I have flashes. Hey, that's Breach. He didn't have anything else, He had 3 flashes. He was going boom, boom, boom. Everyone's eyes are burning, and they're looking like lamps on the forehead. But now it's more about what can I do with the aftershock? What can I do with the fault line? Because the fault line now is wider. It can cover the entire hookah. An example, window B on bind. You can just put one aftershock, right? One fault line, and everyone is stunned in the entire corner. And then his ultimate now is a square instead of a cone, which covers the entire site as well. So Breach now has an actual identity other than flashes, which is a great change.
Itu capture kayak pernah lihat di Pornhub.
This is the bread and butter for me in Valorant.
Lothar, man, seeing you get so passionate about a game you clearly love, man, is exactly why we're all here, And honestly, I think you filled the void quite well, because we've just been working on getting the actual game ready. That's what we want to watch. We're all looking forward to it. Also, one thing that you touched upon, the breach changes, I do really like. I've run into a couple of breaches now, man.
Nggak ada.
Those
Teori puji memuji udah nggak ada lagi anjing.
I feel like the aftershock
nggak ada
was always
teori
fine
menjilat lagi
anyway.
untuk menjadi moderator.
You know, they made it better. So that's pretty cool. You know, on top of that, something else that we kind of look at with like some of these changes coming in is obviously you got to think in the future, not now, but like how is someone like Kalo gonna start to influence the meta as well, right? There's so many talking points at this point in time in Valorant. It feels like that really like we could just run off the rails with this and kind of take it podcast mode, right?
For sure. I mean, going back to Greece, we didn't talk about Fnatic. They played once in close qualifier on Greece. They won, but it was a Cyber Jet of a Viper. So they didn't have Sky. So there's going to be a stark contrast when it comes to the way that both of those teams will play in Greece. It's going to be pretty cool to see which one is more dominant, right? The Sage or the Sky?
Yeah, I'm excited to see that as well. So we can find out what agents are getting played. It won't be a mystery any longer. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. I might just need the two guys to get me really hyped up and talk me through some of the synergies we've got.
Okay. We have a lot of changes here.
Yes.
Lu ada yang nonton konten gua belum?
On Sova, he's playing on Astra.
Gua kasih pertanyaan dari yang kalau udah nonton konten gua kasih pertanyaannya ya. Kalau ada yang jawab benar gua kasih moderator.
That's got to be that's a double.
Are we gonna get
They're trolling. No, they're trolling.
Apa ya?
But first off, again, to get Dome on the Sky, the big tick in the box for me.
Di konten terbaru gua
Viper on this map.
Di half pertama gua mendapatkan berapa poin?
Just the thing I was talking about. Straight away, again, thinking about obviously the Breeze performance versus Wave. They've gone back, and I think this is a directed address to. Maybe not showing the full picture just yet. This is maybe now final form for Fnatic.
That is awesome to watch.
I'm excited as well about the the Scream Jet that we've got making the appearance.
10.000 dari seseorang, pesan, cara ngatasin depresi gimana, Sen?
As far as like little duos of characters go, man, her flashes mixed with the wall, it's just painful to play against. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm sad that the Yoru hover was just a troll. You know, I don't think we have any Draken type characters here to try and bring that out when it matters most. But yeah, man, you know, on the back of seeing agent selectors, your mind's kind of changed at all as to where you were standing, because we're almost ready to get this one in.
Nah, sekarang tinggal gue lihat nih siapa yang sering
I'm a little bit uncertain about the composition without Jet, but I just want to see it now.
Okay, yeah, no, fair play, man. I think we're all on the same boat. And the good news is that we don't have to wait long to see it. That's right. This game is about to begin. Fnatic taking on Liquid, and it is the wonderful casting duo of Pansy and Hypoc to take us in.
Oh, what an absolute champion Harry is. We've thrown him into the deep end. He's just escaped the gulag, and there he is having to fill on his first day. But we're live into this. There's no messing around here, Hypoc. We are straight into the action.
Yeah, we're already halfway through the pistol round here as Magnum's opened things up. Mystic actually going to follow through on that one. So Fnatic now straight away find themselves in a 5v3 situation, and Spike being planted over on B side here.
Alright, let's get our bearings a bit. Just got ourselves kind of situated. Fnatic
on
the attacking side, Liquid on the defensive side now, playing the retake. And all I do is pick Sky, and I'm just so happy that now I get to see some of the best players now picking this up. Soulcast, obviously one of the first players to really lean into it heavily.
And I'm just
how he looks on this map specifically.
Screen,
slowly working through middle. There he is. Boaster actually managed to pick him out, and it looks like at this point it is just Soulcast left alive. I don't really know what he's going to be able to get out of this one. Maybe a bit more damage. That's lovely. Not bad at all, but beyond that,
udah jangan banyak matinya udah.
Peeky around the world. Does he get shut down? Yes, he does.
Babang
Ooh, that UI is going to take a second to update. That's going to catch me here.
Mansen
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. So at this point, let's kind of take stock a little here, because we kind of got thrown in at this point. You know, I was a little out of sorts, but also, yeah, lovely desk work there. How did it feel, Hypoc? What was it like?
I mean, it's always nice to get back on the desk. It's not often I get wheeled out and put on camera. Yeah. Usually, I have my 15-second pre-game camera spot, and that's about it. Yeah, actually, yeah. That's a decision come back. It's always nice to get back on the UI, isn't it?
Blay, Fahri Azam, tangnya perlu kita cabut nggak, Blay? Perlu kita kasih ke orang lain nggak? Dia manggil gua Koko. Perlu nggak, Blay?
There we go. That's the look I like. Now, Vipers galore, and obviously that back box corner as well, just being tucked into by Scream. Super powerful position, but you can see Sky's flash instantly targeted towards it. And they've sliced and diced up poor old Madonna. Another flash comes through, catching just about everyone, but at the moment it does end up towards about a 4v4. Now, the money's a bit weird for Liquid. They've got, the Sheriffs, the Ghosts, the Marshals, bits and bobs, but on the other side, Bulldogs, Spectres, and also the important part, the heavier armor. So this should be kept and maintained. If Soulcast can watch out another though, that's madness. He even got the Seekers online here, Hyper.
Actually, Link now finds himself in a 1v2. Straight away, actually, will spy out one, going to upgrade to the Marshal here. Prevent the spike going down, but that wall going to cut off lots of the sight lines.
Udah tahu Fahri, oke. Berarti hari ini gua kasih ke Mr. Lipo. Fahri gue cabut.
There's contact. Actually, a spy cam available. I'm not sure exactly what angles that's going to see, but you see Magnum already posted up inside it.
Oke. Nih Lipo sama Fahri Azam sering berantem nih, seru nih. Yang satu gue kasih, yang satu gue cabut. Lipo, lo kan sering dibully, lu bully balik lah. Lu dari kemarin dibully kan, lu kata gua nggak ngebacain chat lu berdua, gua nggak tahu. Gua pantekin Blay. Gila ini Soulcast gila udah 6 anjing. Yang lain AFK bangsat.
10.000 dari Mokaris, pesan, ngopi dulu Blay, relax.
Ngopi dulu Blay, relax. Iya sih, gua minta kopi bentar dulu.
Yeah,
we are in charge of none of the moving parts, otherwise it would be 10 times worse.
Apart from starting the game, you are in charge of that. No, you had the button this time. But already big information garnered. Now, keep in mind, you do have Cypher still holding that flank, keeping these rotations, but this is going to be an A piece, at least with that Viper wall coming in. 3 players on the other side, though.
Yeah, and actually going to flash all the way back behind Pyramid on the right side here, and yeah, that's the spike going all the way forwards here. Stream actually going to respond with 2 kills from back behind Triple, but Doma eventually squashes that out. Magnum will respond as well, so brings it to a 3v3. No real sight constraint guarded. Soulcast going to find another. And Fnatic struggling to get control of the site now.
Soulcast is being such a nuisance.
Massive round from Soulcast.
I love that little kind of like whip of the flash, right? Just that quick one around the side of Madonna. Just so sick. So sick. Like, that was really nicely done, and I want to see Soulcast be different now. This patch is, like, nuts for him, right? This is the one that should prop him up. And, like, this was lovely. Finds one, whips one that side, just gorgeous work. Catches just the information off those flashes alone. Like, it's crazy how good Sky is at the moment. We already have a little setup here. We love to see the Cypher setup, so we have to see how that looks. Now, we do have, what do we have left over here? Is that 2 rifles coming in between Magnum and Mystic, I think? And the rest kind of sitting a little low with just the utility on deck.
There's a couple of bits of utility invested here. Magnum's actually going to try and walk through Tube. Now, you can see a trap wire all the way at the other end, but also Yampy holding down the fort there. And that becomes such a... Again, I didn't even get a chance to talk about this. It's really, with the way this map plays out, it's going to be interesting to see some of the Sentinels and these lurking rolls. But hold that fort, Soulcast, yeah, ready. Pop this through into shop here, and look at that. Going to find the first. Mystic turns it. What?
How did he turn that? He like pinged that on the wall so he could get his gun out fast, which is one of the changes, and that's super hard to avoid, so credit to him for that. But Cryptix, he's got the railgun locked in. Just going to turret this one out. He knows where the other player is, but he's just dedicated towards this angle, just trying to dice between the two. I think Durka got found in mid then. And now it's Magnum and Boaster. Now, Boaster's done well towards the first. That does at least alleviate the pressure Cryptix was bringing, but an instantaneous trade for Yampy, and then the shutdown on the follow-up. So, 3 surviving, Liquid stabilizing once those rifles came out.
Fnatic now building a couple of the tools in terms of the ultimate cycle. Actually, it's, if I'm not mistaken, only Magnum and Boaster that don't have theirs available. To see whether or not we see them lean back on that now in their buy rounds. Sorry, no, it was Doma and Durka. Apologies. So, Mystic, Boaster, and Magnum, all with theirs online. They're going to be Sheriffs this time around. Obviously, we know previously 2 rifles and a bit of a funky buy, to be honest, coming into round 5. I think the economy is maybe a little off kilter with things tied up now. But Magnum, again, be interested to see if he finds any value, because Yampy is posted right now. Every single round so far, watching the Tube.
Yeah, and it's not just on that. Like, he will lean A if they start showing presence, but you could, as you highlighted there perfectly, and we kind of saw it building from the very start. Yampi able to find those two players. I think Magnum kind of slipped the the thread a little earlier, was able to kind of find his way through. But you can see Cryptix is on today. So is Soulcast. They are sharp at the moment. Lovely work, and there was even the flank.
Soulcast jago amat nembaknya.
It really wasn't. But at that point, lovely shutdown. No threats being found. And how are you finding the economy changes to an extent? I know they're not like drastically different, but it feels like when you're on eco, you're really on eco. You know, you don't get as much leeway anymore. You do end up being like, well, okay, I can get a little bit util, maybe an upgrade of a pistol here or there, but you don't get the full shebang anymore.
No, I agree, and it's one of the points I brought up on the desk. I think Jet is probably the most impacted by that, right? It's the one that I think could be most influential in terms of, her self-sustain with the cloud burst and the ultimate, right? Yeah. How often have we seen it just completely flip around on his head on the back of what a $400 investment, really?
True. We do have the kind of elbow creep coming out from Boaster here.
Mana nih Fahri belum nongol nih, harus di TO Blay. Gue pengen lihat kesan-kesan Fahri.
The Viper invested is going to be tricky to
upgrade nih Ionnya.
eventually need to be, but I guess it's only towards that kind of
main entrance,
kan maybe they can swing mid or even potentially CT if they get the right wrap, but at the end of the day, looking across the map for the attacking side, they do have presence elsewhere too. Now, they got that pick in middle now. The one thing we have to say about this map, Hypok, is rotations are punishing, right? This map's pretty big, we know it. Information is king, it is key here. You can see Fnatic just hitting the brakes, pausing for a second. See if anyone tries to get a little overzealous and try to get information, maybe peeking a little too far. You can see the dog being invested as well from the defending side. That'll be Soulcast sending that, I think, down tube, just to see if he can maybe find Magnum again, give a bit of an intonation as to what's going on, but the Seekers will show where they're coming from, at least for now. And obviously, it'll show where Link is, as does the Aldrone. He's in a lot of trouble here. He does have Soulcast on the bailout, but he's still a mile away. Soulcast is going to reply with the Seekers of his own.
This is huge, actually. Response comes through, but Dome is going to double dip. Link and Soulcast will lose their lives, and now it's just screaming Cryptix. And already Mystic now looking to put a stranglehold.
Gue bikin polling.
Viper's bit invested gives them a really good opportunity
sampai
to close this out.
Ini kan round 6 ya, sampai round 10 pollingnya gue lihat siapa yang paling banyak, Fahri apa Lipo, dia akan mendapatkan tang pokoknya yang berhasil.
To go through here. Now, what was interesting was actually throwing up that Cosmic Divide over on the B side. Obviously, we know Cryptix invested his Viper's bit off the rip really to get control of B. Just to see Fnatic kind of plant the seeds of maybe still contesting B site. All 5 of them going to slip back through cave and screen, considering a peek. Oh, going to find Mystic though. Wants to hold on to the Vandal for the time being, so Fnatic will find a flawless round victory here with that A site execute, but you could argue a little overzealous in terms of investment. A 5v2 scenario, Viper's bit invested as well, and we know how on this map in particular, it can be such a huge tool for teams.
Wah, kagak bisa dah main sofa. I want to see what he does with that. See if he's. I mean, he's already been around tube. He's kind of indicated that's where he's generally going to be. That little
final on Sentinel, dia sofa tuh di map apa ya?
This does leave mid as not an option, but if that's been identified as maybe they don't have dedicated players towards it, but they have got that Jet leaning there. This is interesting look coming up from the defending side. Liquid do leave a lovely gap here, and if Fnatic start noting that, they could start pushing. And I'm seeing Boaster exploring this idea again. They did manage to punish, I think it was Scream last time here, potentially. I'm not 100% sure if it was Scream, but I think it was. And it looks like they're exploring that option again. So it does pull him away from that B-side, leaving Cypher to do Cypher things, which is going to be in the one-man hero, right?
Dipakein duelist tuh lebih bagus.
Yeah, I think hero's the key word, right? Is
Bain dari ke sofa juga. Bener kan? Bain kan ya?
Impact on a round.
Dari ke
Boaster again. I'm going to explore up top side of elbow. This time actually a little bit of an adjustment here. You can see MP flipping over towards B very early on here to help out with Link and Scream. And again, Fnatic now planting the seeds.
Dia udah ditampol kayaknya Blay sama Scream.
Of conditioning here because they've drawn out this rotation, and already with 30 seconds left.
Gegara yang lawan T1.
Yeah, there's a one way that Cryptix, I think, potentially could have used on this? I was curious if he was going to go to it, but yeah, he knows what's up. His sight's under pressure, but Magnum times it just right now. Soulcast left on an island. He doesn't have the support he wanted that he normally gets from the Soba, for example. They're still a mile away, so the sight's all Fnatics, and I love that. The walk up middle, the show presence in elbow, the show a little bit of, a little bit of leg towards mid. That's an angle, but it doesn't matter. Doma knows it even better. I loved what Fnatic did this round. They punished that kind of floating play that had posted towards middle and kind of that lean on tube they've been kind of sharing that role on. I loved that, and as soon as that idea of, oh, there's been a couple of notes towards B, they had to put the player there.
Well, the big thing is the
Menang
next step to this
belum Blay, masih 3 sama.
Overall, I think we think bigger picture is Magnum. So as
Even
they start
Jepang
playing this season, the
Surabaya
early round,
tahu
Magnum's
nggak
just going to
tahu.
be able to run away with things in that lurker role. Like I said, it's been a constant threat. How did Doma lose out on that one? Yeah, he will get a consolation with the operator. A headshot, but Durka will close things out. Like I said, it's again in terms of, you hit the nail on the head really. In terms of rotation timings and being able to spread the defense very thin, that's when Magnum can run absolutely rampant, right? He can sit so late in these lurks.
And I was interested to see what Fnatic looked like on this map as well, because
Scream
we
tuh
had
operator.
mini nipping into the stream every now and then. If you saw a couple of teams, floating Breeze out there, like, you could see teams keeping in mind as soon as that veto, as soon as Breeze was on the left, not insta taken away, coaches became very interested.
Makanya operator jet tuh nggak terlalu sangar, mending kayak dikasih ke agent yang lain. Terus karena ini map jauh, Vandal lebih stronger daripada Phantom. Nah, Vandal Scream kan sangar tuh. Begitu kali ya.
Again, probably Yampy there getting a little fruity with it. Now, is this the right answer? Because again, the early probe from Fnatic is to take that mid control. And this will pay off even better because they've had no indicator that they can't go this way. Look at the pressure on Cryptics right here, Hypok. What are you meant to do with this? You've now got so much util your way. You're pretty much boxed in or forced to fight. And Fnatic put Durka forward. Gorgeous side take, but Soulcast is still here.
One-tap jago ya pakai Vandal dong.
That tag through there as well, trying to tap out. Couple more shots onto Durka. Mystic. Actually, Hunter's Fury going to get popped here, and Soulcast gets tagged with the first and the second here.
And they're pinning them in. It's a tricky position to play back from. Good one from Mystic to bail them out towards Scream. And now we had Yampy having a little bit of a look. Link now. He didn't really have a step in. Yeah, position now. Very much understood he has to kind of fall away from this, but you can't. You've got players coming through by window. The double spray is very likely. Good adjustment on the second. Lovely shots from Link. He just wants to keep that rifle, man. That's all he wants. Like, look, it's kind of pretty. I actually kind of like the silvery white version of this. I think it looks quite nice, quite tasteful. What do you make of the gun?
I haven't seen enough inspecting just yet. I want to see the animation.
Doesn't it potentially get stuck on the sound though, or is that just the knife?
I think it's just the knife, right?
Okay, I was
That's
worried.
the ultimate flex though. You
Blay,
just
kenapa
spin in the
smoke Astra kadang lama kadang
animation
bentar? Kalau bentar itu ditarik, Blay. Starnya ditarik lagi.
It's the only way you're allowed to use that weapon. A Vova would be pretty good with that weapon, I feel, actually. I want to see him embrace that skin.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why would you say that? What stands out to you about it?
Liquid sih.
Oh, nothing. No,
Got
nothing. I couldn't possibly put my finger on it.
No.
Tapi ini map pick yang Liquid ya?
Okay, if you had to pick one of the rifles currently, the skins.
Ini map picknya siapa? Katanya Liquid.
Not sponsored, I'm just kind of curious. What are you going for here?
I mean, Prime. Yeah, it's got to be Prime. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, don't let Mitch hear me say that.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Fair enough.
Ini juga nih.
Any Primers in the
Yang
chat?
nonton 1K like-nya 200 anjing. Gue bikin 500 lah at least, woi.
Always a streamer.
Aduh.
Do we have a sub button?
Gue dikata
I
nih.
hope not. Please don't.
Pembeli bot
you
udah
really
nih.
Just
Udah
chill
hancur
out.
lah, makin hancur
Honestly,
dah.
follows enough.
Gak ada masa depan.
But mostly follow us.
Map picknya Fari, buset lu jahat banget anjing, Foxy Biot.
5-3, we do have the tactical timeouts coming in.
Mana Fari?
Now for Liquid, I think they need to address this kind of mid-presence that has been starting to become a problem.
Jangan nangis,
Fnatic's kind of
Fari.
identified
Lu
an
kasih tang lagi
issue,
lo.
and they're starting to pressure it.
Yeah, and I think those early fact finders, like I said, of call it probing
Mr.
or
Lipo
planting the
jauh-jauh lu
seed,
bangsat.
I think is gonna start paying off for them because now they can really manipulate Liquid. And we saw right there. I mean, it was only Cryptics in backside on B. The only kind of safety net he had was Soulcast and Yampy, and they were so far away in arches that really, if that hit comes through and with the precision of that utility used, there's nothing the Cryptics can do. I mean, you have to either give it up or go 1-for-1.
Blinded.
Kita lihat Scream nih, Blay. Blade-stormnya Scream.
You can see the Viper rules still very much in place.
Waduh, kejedot. Astagfirullahaladzim, Scream.
Isolate Durka, so that's a good fact finder. And there's a net close coming in from Link, working his way down tube. And there's the follow-up fact. So he's got the full picture this time around, and they know where Boaster is, but they still have to deal with him. The spike is still on the Viper, so they're not quite committing quickly towards B just yet. Boaster could do with maybe that first frag. If someone's a little isolated just ahead of the others, but look at Sky as well, leering down middle. No information found. That could be almost a misinformation. If they don't know that maybe they're leaning B, they could still be holding on A. Let's see what the timing's like here.
Actually, Cryptic's going to give away a sound cue here now. Boaster actually going to note his position on the back of that, creeping towards wall. He's actually going to get the swing as well, so that should open up B's site here, and Fnatic should be able to take control. Now, no wall invested on this side, so as if they've actually got to play this a little bit of aggressive, and that's exactly what Boaster's going to do on the back of that flash.
Oh, Mr. got two.
I've got your trail.
Seekers go out. And now the 3v2. Fnatic going to leave Mystic and Dome up.
Belum coli dah, Blay.
Posted up towards the pillar, and you do have the freedom of the run coming in from Boaster. So keep in mind, he could get a flank on this. He's going to probably deny both if they try and walk away from it in any position. Boaster is about to creep around the backside of them. Doma and the boys just need to keep buying time, make sure they're still there. There it is, Boaster around the back, as said. And there's a follow-up from Mystic. Nice little clothesline to shut it down. And Fnatic, even with all that information found, managed to stabilize and find the room that they need to work with.
Yeah, great recovery, actually, on that. That easily could have gone astray for them here.
Blay, kenapa Yoro kok nggak dipakai di turnamen?
I'm fine with it just to secure that round.
Sulit mendapatkan.
Again, with it being even with the lesser weaponry.
Bukan sulit mendapatkan, sulit.
Yeah, our first
menggunakan skill Yoru.
Shown us that yet.
Oh, look, Mel's abandoned us for the B stream today.
Untuk
shout out to the person who already mentioned Waffles. Like, Waffles has become like such a beloved, like, mascot to the stream. Oh, double stack towards elbow. I need to stop talking nonsense. This could be quite sick, but now it's been noted. Lovely flash, but Soulcast, I think, was just tucked far enough near the box. He was fine. He didn't get that full white flash. That was so sick. I guess that's one way to handle it, right? Just put Soulcast there.
This is the thing, it's little things like this to address the early control that Fnatic are getting from showing presence on elbow, right? And even just that one kill, you know, every couple of rounds, it's going to really quell some of this early momentum. And again, taking some of the tools away from Fnatic.
I need to stop.
You're both going to spy out Scream there. Takes a little bit of damage. Back away now towards Archers. Two members still committed.
Tapi kemarin kan sebagai Yoru Blay kalah kan?
Now desperately looking for something. Soulcast gonna pop the Seekers out.
Tapi Yoru tuh gimana ya? Belum dapat strat ya kayak deh. Gue belum pernah ngelihat tim make Yoru. Belum pernah. Soalnya lebih bagus. Lebih bagus agent yang lain, masih banyak pilihan lain.
Quite sure where they're going, but there is still going to be Yampy on this site. If he gets maybe one. That's enough to kind of cause so many issues at this point. Let's see. 18 seconds, the cross is being watched. Link is there.
Masih banyak pilihan lain yang lebih bagus dan lebih bisa lu pakai buat tim gitu loh.
But where is that spike? It's in Viper's
hand. Timingnya sedih banget.
Timing on that is devastating.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Gue jadi jumpy kalau lagi turun gitu. Gue lempar mouse sih.
Ya Allah. You can see the retake coming on in.
Etos durnya apa nih? Main di kompe jago pakai Yoru biasa, Blay. Bocah Indo juga banyak yang bisa kayak gitu.
Definitely doable here. Scream coming all the way through cave. Now that's going to give away some information. Actually, Cryptic's going to find the first. Boaster still behind the Cosmic Divide. Cryptic's finds him as the wall drops, and Liquid come out on top of that. I think after they'd got the initial control, and I'll be honest, dug Yampy out of that spot.
Kenapa?
It was all doable there. It's a little bit of a
udah nyampe round 10. Coba gue lihat pollingnya. Nggak sih, pollingnya udah Fari yang menang.
Oh no.
Full 7 people in chat.
Fari menang 99%. Lipo nggak menang.
That's who I'm there for. Whoever gets like what Bo Selector, Craig David, any of these references, fair play to you. Like, you're the type of audience we're here for. So welcome. And look, we've got to have our fun before North America wakes up, you know? It's like, it's a nice afternoon time here. We've got the early shift. And Cryptics, man, that was so like, and Boaster did so much bailing out.
Sendero
Right?
kemarin
Like, a
apa
couple
kalah
of those
Blay?
kills
Dia
were
menang
just,
2-1 tapi pas
instrumental,
si
and then
Tens
he
pakai
gets
Yoru
just Cryptics coming back in with a mad 2K.
That's a much quicker piece this time around. Magnum already got all the way deep in tube, and look at this. Look at this pace shift here from Fnatic. Already finding 2 kills over on A site.
ngelihat Magnum make Phantom itu gue jadi pengen main dah. Enak banget
right
ini.
now.
And this is the thing. Remember, last round they hit with like what? Was it like 10, 20 seconds left? The pace change must have just thrown Liquid through a loop. They just weren't expecting after being conditioned so often at this point. Now, I'm kind of interested if when we get a sec, I'm not sure, I guess in between the round. This looks like a save if I'm honest. I want to look towards how Scream's doing, and especially Yampy as well. I feel as this map is a bit of an aim as paradise. It's long, light lines of sight. You get a lot of room to play with. It kind of pays to have the Phantom.
Ngejilatnya kelewatan, Blay. Menurut lu sopan nggak, Blay?
To manage around now.
Menurut lu cocok untuk di TO nggak, Blay? Taki 86.
I'd say mechanical ability from Counter-Strike, for example. Will
Dia
enjoy this map
Black
because of
enak
those
banget,
sightlines,
anjir,
because of the way it just
ngeliatnya.
mechanically plays out a bit. But it doesn't feel as though he's been having a hot game just yet, so I'll be interested to see how he looks on the board.
Lihat Demi ya.
Yeah, kind of quiet.
Bentar.
3 kills on Scream. I'm still not, like, I like the concept of Scream on Jet. I'm just not always sold by it.
No, I think we can stay open-minded towards maybe how they try and work around Scream on attack.
That's what I'm waiting for.
And then again, I think the other key stakeholder there is Soulcast, right? And he's had an amazing defensive half, at least being in terms of finding opening duels himself and working off the back of, I mean, Sky becoming basically a duelist, right?
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
You mentioned
look,
it. You mentioned
here we go. Let's go, Scream. Show me the money.
You poked the beast.
Look, I will never not be a fan of that man. It's just when you've seen the potential that he has. Oh, Soulcast, this could be a huge pop flash, but look at the way they played it. Boaster was just going to swing in the angle back by main, and Dirk has also found Link. Scream just gets involved. 1 HP is all he's going to need here. Mystic, the barrel shot gets denied. Scream can't find it this time, and now Cryptics and Yampy in a 2v4 post-plant scenario. Barely a step towards the site. These odds are not looking so pretty.
With the Viper's Pit invested as well, it's difficult to dig them out. Yampy already taking some shock dart damage there from Durka.
Mansen
finally making his way up towards Tube.
Berujung di TO.
He's doing everything he can for
He
it.
goes Hunter's Fury here.
That's going to change the game. Now Cryptics has to commit to this as well. He's going all in. Is that a tag? No, it doesn't matter. Mystic just steps out of the Viper's Pit, finds Cryptics, and now Yampy left in the 1v2. He's got to know they're nearby, and he's trying everything. He has the full utility kit, but the time is starting to run out. I don't think he's got any time left. And there it is, Mystic with the shutdown. Yampy, what a valiant attempt.
KO belum boleh dipakai di turn ya. Belum kayak deh. KO belum deh.
Final scoreline for the first half here. 8-4 Fnatic lead. Now, again, like I said, I'll stay open-minded, right? This was, for me, expectations-wise, with Fnatic dropping this to Wave, I think straight away, they'd be in the lab. They'd be looking at something. What can we do here to flip the script, right? And make it as difficult as possible. We know how much Fnatic like to be the trump card, right? They like to have something up their sleeve to say, hey, yeah, you want to try an anti-strat us? Watch the VODs. Yeah, go nuts. But that's not what we're going to do. And already here we're seeing, again, just the early signs of those conditioning in the first few rounds with that presence shown on elbow, the way they manipulate that with those slow progressive rounds, and then the pace change. That was beautiful to see.
Yeah, I love that. I think this is a good indicator of... Did I just fall into like a time loop? What's happened?
Is this...
Yang menang.
Are we live?
Is this This is the pistol round, right?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
We're just... Oh.
So it's over.
Dude, this is the first time I had like maybe like
Kalian
a few days
megang
off.
siapa tuh, Blay?
I'm a little slow, but the frenzy's out to play. I love a frenzy, I do. Can't get enough of it.
Oh, gila frenzy di Brisma.
A little mark there.
Pedih anjir.
Soulcast gonna try and clear the angle. Lovely.
Jago banget Soulcast.
Has he got a ghost? His utility kit's interesting. I want to see what they've done with that, because it looks like he's got a fair bit to work with, just one of the 2 flashes. But obviously you get it back now. High flash towards the site, and Soulcast again, creating space and opportunities for Liquid.
Buset, Soulcast kayak main sendiri anjing.
Absolutely dropped Soulcast on for the ace here.
Spike planted.
From Liquid in the second
Kasih
half.
S dong, kasih S dong.
You can see him
Kasih S dong.
now. He's going to full swing on towards Cave here. He's going to get it as well. Soulcast goes massive. What a round.
Look, out of all the players who's an early adopter of the Sky approach, right? We love those kind of early fake flashes. He was trying out before it's even been made a little easier with the update, right? You can kind of run and gun with the flash now in front of you as such, right? But he has been having a massive game on this map.
Showcase kayak dia habis dari dalam goa nih lah. Semenjak dia gagal nyucuk Vanity, ya kan?
That Sky and Viper are such a good
dia langsung masuk goa, betapa
players of yours to pop off, right? Like you've just now had
mencari
Cryptic and
ilham.
having a good game. This could be a great indicator
langsung di
for a build
Phantom
back
lah.
here from Liquid. Let's see how they manage this round though. I do want to see how the big boy teams start managing the newer look economy. I mean, you can force buy if you get the right indicators for it. Maybe a spike plant, good couple of kills.
Stack.
And yeah, the stack is the interesting one. Now, the Al drone ain't making it far, and the push has to come in off the back. Well cleared and well considered by Liquid.
That was beautiful, actually. Again, anticipating this level of aggression through here. Durka going to get a consolation, but
yang mati Cryptic lagi nih.
Not much to write home about there, and a convincing anti-eco. And I'll be honest, a little bit of a setup from Fnatic in terms of looking to get proactive there, and it gets completely shut down. Soulcast now leading the charge, 19-9 for Liquid. And again, I've talked about this a few times before. You look towards kind of, you know, previously the duo of Breach and Jet, right? You want to see maximum value on defense in particular.
Give us the rewind.
Kenapa ya sering begini ya?
When the crowd say,
kayak PC Observer dah.
Did we rewind?
Is that?
I don't. Clearing
elbows. This is a
elbow.
highlight in the making.
It is. Okay, welcome to the frag movie. It's fine. We'll get some like Cell Dweller or Linkin Park. I don't know. What do kids like having frag movies these days? I don't know. I'm too old. Seekers go in. The flash comes out. Doma's in danger. Already isolated. You see Scream wants him dead. Soulcast gets him first though. Link digs out Boaster and it's Mystic on the back lines. That's a good play, but these angles are rough to play with. Look at that elevated position Scream come in from. But the big man on the other side, Durka, swings around eventually through CT. He needs to do some big lifting here. And that was the chance on it, but Soulcast is the end boss here. He's letting no one through.
I mean, we talked about pace change in the first half. Look at this from Liquid coming straight out on their attack. Able to dial in here and...
Gue jadi Scream udah bete tuh. Lagi ngedes aja kena.
Given the opportunity to I guess get a real grasp on the
Lu ngerti casternya ngomong apa,
game right now in the way that they were able to on
kagak Blay, kagak ngerti Blay. Kalau bahasa Jawa gue baru ngerti.
Nothing online in terms of ultimates. Looking over at Liquid, 2 or 3 away for a couple of key ones coming online, but let's see here. Fnatic decide to dial in a little harder. We know when they get shut out a few times, they like to get more proactive. Some of these defensive executions we see from them on other maps for sure, but I'm interested to see what the response is here.
Oh. He got frenzies and he just tucked in on the site. He's going to hear all the steps.
Kalau Observer pengen ngeliatin Scream mulu ya. Cuma Screamnya mati mulu, sedih banget.
Oh, the flash through. Any frags to be found? Yes, there it is. Nice use of the Sky Flash to come in, but now Cryptic... Oh, I thought he was going to give us a little aim display there. The adjusting on all 3, but...
Wah, Magnum.
Maybe Magnum find another. They're making this costly if they can keep going on this. Durka now. There it is, capitalizing on the timing. And the shot could not have been better. Now, does he find Link, though? Right place, wrong time. He's backing away. He doesn't fully check it. He doesn't fully clear, but he's got the intuition. And he's got the shot.
Well,
apa dah? Di-pick sama Link. Gue yakin banget Scream marah-marah nih. Yakin gue. Yakin seyakin-yakinnya gue. Ngapain anjing di-pick? Di-tap juga belum.
Absolutely insane stuff.
Link.
What a recovery there.
Kemarin Soulcast yang masuk goa. Habis ini udah lu yang masuk goa.
Yes, I think it was kind of a 2v3 at one point, but I mean, it was basically a 1v3. What a nutty gamer.
Oh, that's going to put the brakes on at least in terms of momentum. Economy-wise, not going to make a massive difference. As I say that, actually, Liquid only financially with 1 round in hand here. I think Soulcast had to drop out a weapon also. This potentially... That could be a pivotal round if we look at the round score here. It's Fnatic on the brink of double digits.
Link kayaknya lupa minum buyung upi nih, Blay. Kurang pintar.
How much space Scream can make here? They've cleared sight. Well, I guess to an extent. I guess you can't have full... Where did that tag just come from? They can't have full faith in it, but at this point, sight's there, spike to be planted. Fnatic have to play this back in, maybe depending a little on the ult to come in through from Durka. He does indeed get the frag as well. Good follow-up on that, and that's allowed Boaster to lean a little further forward, leer in toward this, and Link waiting with the toothy maw down below. But the flash comes in, tries to swing it early. Timing favors Fnatic on the play back through.
This is massive, and again, I'm going to be really interested to see just how they sit financially here. Like I said, Fnatic now posting double digits. I just think there was two members of Liquid over 1,000 credits. Now, with the way the first couple of rounds have played out here, loss bonus-wise, that's going to be a big reset.
Ada flashnya Sky.
Fnatic to win that, yeah, look
Cuma
at it.
dia
It's
maju
not
misalnya
good
di
at
A nih
all,
dah. Sampai sini doang nih, Blay. Nggak clearin backside. Kayak mending lu mati di belakang, anjing. Daripada lu mati di sini nggak jelas. Lu punya 2 inisiator.
I mean, there was something we said about... I feel like I'm having a mental breakdown. Can we take it easy on the UI flicker? I'm not normally awake before midday, and like I had to be up early. I've been feeling like things are going wrong, but it's okay. So as I was saying, you know, there used to be the old scouts and deals. They can work. It's tags between the two. If you
nggak apa-apa gitu. Dia mati nggak bikin space, Blay.
Itu
salahnya kalau lu pakai duelist.
Bits and bobs work exactly the same.
Ya Allah, dia kagak bisa nge-clearing backside dan ngasih info di backside-nya kagak bisa, bangsat.
You can avoid it if at all possible.
I was going to say, especially with these weapons, it's almost like actually throw a couple of marshals and shares up and let's just stack up. Because if everybody hits somebody once, they're going down, right? So on the times that, you know, your opponent's going to spread very thin.
Cuma screamnya
default, but actually,
aneh.
Look at it, Fnatic handling this very, very well. They're playing deep on both sides here. Seeker's invested, and Liquid actually going to re-explore towards double doors. Oh no!
Magnum just wins. Screamy. Just pulled away from him.
Soulcast lagi pakai cheat kali ini.
That camera, pretty tasty, isn't it? There it is. That's real nice. They've got it all. Big information. Cross actually gets away with it. Soulcast does.
Kayaknya nggak latihan di Breeze, nggak expect dapat Breeze.
Lah ini there is a bit of damage coming in.
Spike down.
Yeah. Shut out, shut down. No real damage done. I was getting a little interested, but yeah, nothing much more than that.
Blay, ini map pick siapa, Blay? Liquid apa Fnatic?
I guess as a result of what we previously talked about here, this is pretty much the do or die for Liquid here in terms of their buy round. Have to see ultimates-wise what's available. Hunter's Fury, Seekers, Neural Theft. As we know, Scream popped that Blade Storm previously here, but you look at the money, it's going to be scrappy at best. I mean, even if they win this, they've still got a round deficit to make up, and financially, it's not looking comfortable at all.
Deploying drone.
7. We're leaning in. Clearing out the util on the way. Right towards the default plant. Now, they can fall away to have the Viper in the post plant if they want it. Actually forces him off the spike plant. That's decent. Nice amount of HP on the board. And the spike plant this time does come in. So let's look at the post plant.
Soalnya tadi Liquid dapat first ban-nya, dia nge-ban Icebox.
Do too much, but look at that Cypher lurk in middle as well. That could catch the Viper if they're not being subtle, and that could really close this in. Flash through the wall. Soulcast up for the fight. He gets one, can't get any more though. Link helped him out on that one though. He got Mystic at the same time. That was that lurk coming through in middle, and now there's problems galore for Fnatic. And that timing could not have been better
yang dapat dua-duanya. On point banget,
and that's the key factor here to consider in terms of building a little bit of a buffer to get back into this game. They need to hold Fnatic on 11 rounds. I think Fnatic are going to have a very comfortable purchase here once again with the way the previous rounds have played out.
Cuma nggak tahu nih Scream kayak kurang solid lah.
Keep 4 online. Not sure if they recovered the operator. Yeah, look at it. Did get recovered purchase-wise.
Nggak mau, nggak penting anjing lihat bracket. Gue nggak streamingin tiap hari, nggak bakal gue nobarin tiap hari. Kalau timnya yang lagi seru aja, gue tonton. Kalau nggak males.
Jampy expecting aggression. At least, I mean, they just flashed that already. I love this intuition coming out. It's keeping them checked in, Boaster tagged up, forced away. Now Link kind of leans in further. So they've shown a fair amount towards this A side. They've got like big intentions. And I want to see that Sova in mid, closing the gap. Keep that in the back of your mind. Sova is going walkouts. Now Soulcast is watching this. But, I mean, it's a classic, right? And it's Durka on the other side, fully rifled up.
Buset, blindnya 4 orang tuh.
I mean, actually, in this scenario, got himself deep enough where he can just sit and wait for his execution to come through. Doesn't necessarily need to force the issue. He's there to address the backline, that post plant set up here. You can see now on the minimap he's making his move elsewhere. Doma will send a flash through, and Spike finally gets planted here. But look at the position in Cave now.
Yep, there it is. Denial. Yampy, great trade though. Very quick to adjust. Doma turns the flash. Magnum now moves in towards Tribox. But the Spike feels like it's a mile away. Can that cross be watched? I think so. It can be. And the new wall gets put up. Boaster now containing the cross.
So
the
late for
Spike
that.
is in Fnatic territory here. I don't think Liquid can get this back without a big entryway towards the kills. And it might be this. Link might be the gateway, but they seem so aware. That's one. He needs a second. He gets the second. Link, they've got 10 seconds. They got to get a move on. Soulcast finds Boaster. It's still game on. Can Mystic deny? No, he cannot. And there it is. Lovely round from Liquid in the end.
Beautiful start, and actually, everything looked online there. Like you said, it was that little bit of a moment where they just say freeze, they wait for Link to come through and finds what's absolutely necessary to turn that back in their favor here. Two massive kills. This as well just takes his time with it, remains totally composed there, and then Soulcast follows up.
Besok keluar ya live kan lusa ya.
You got to think that as soon as Mystic comes through, he's still got his wall available at that stage of the round. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. They're going to be able to solidify this. They're going to be able to hold on. Now, thinking back to round score, 2 rounds separate them now.
Yang main scrim yang emosi.
Economy going to be a big factor after this, but
GG gue ngeliatnya asli dah.
Here, Lauren.
Yeah, no. Oh, fair enough. A couple of tags helped out, but Mystic will happily take it. Scream's just been deleted. Now, Link's been a bit of a game changer in finding space.
Mati sia-sia, Blay. Gue nggak masalah kalau kill dia dikit tapi dia ngasih info.
If you can kind of read into the opponents, maybe create that space. And now look what that does. It divides the defending side into kind of 2 packs, right? You're going to have the 2 dedicated towards B because of that early intention, right? They were on the site. I mean, Scream was right there. They had to respect that. Now the flash comes back in towards Elbow, finds nothing. So they actually might start leaning further back towards A. You can even see the camera now being toyed with. It's all a game of information. You can see the attack inside falling back far enough that nothing gets given away here, and they're desperate for these facts. They're sending out every bit of, kind of, I guess, scouting utility.
20.000 dari burungnya Sky, pesan, judi lagi lah Blay, menang jadi mod.
Paling jago. 20.000 dari burungnya Sky, judi lagi lah Blay, menang jadi mod. Gak mau, gak boleh judi.
Liquid gonna hold the line actually, as Soulcast will find one
kira dari dalam smoke bangsat.
Comes through to pressure this cage. He's going to follow up on through here. Doma actually finds it. Completely blind, but Yampy will trade it out. 10 seconds left on the clock now. Magnum, the last man standing in a 1v3. No way to fight his way back through here and potentially considering holding on to this Phantom for dear life. Like I said, in terms of the round score, financially, this could be the turning point here for Liquid.
Map picknya Liquid aja.
They're going to put their 10th on the board. Fnatic, I don't think they're going to have a comfortable purchase if they choose to force up, but it's only 1 weapon saved here.
Begitu.
This is a really tricky spot to be in.
And I think this is why I love this matchup.
Maaf netizen.
I'm hesitant to start the talk of El Clasico because this game's
Scream ngebuka jalan nih, ngebuka
but
jalan.
I'm going to say these two meet in so many big
komunitas marah,
moments, right? And this is a crazy thing. This bigger picture,
kontol.
I feel as though Fnatic were leading that way for a long time, and Liquid just had this jump
11
back up. Now, I know that sounds weird, everyone's like, but Scream don't do us. How can you say this about the Edge machine?
Dari 11-8 ya?
Liquid were having a tough time for a while, right? Like they cut everything fell into place. They got to Reykjavik, they looked good. They did get sent out of that by Fnatic, but these two meet constantly, and I actually love that about these two. And I feel like going forward, they don't feel the same stylistically, even though they don't play like the crazy styles or anything. There's nothing too characteristic about either of them. I feel like, yes, Fnatic are a bit more considered, I'd say a little bit more strategic, but they also, what did I just say? Strategic.
You doing the Scream impression again?
I think it just played in. I told you I've been up too early. But again, I feel like they upgraded that firepower and it worked out really well for them. The new roster looks phenomenal. I think we all love that. Now, Liquid kind of same thing, right? Yampy came in, upgraded the firepower. They're not too
Showcase GG.
heavy leaning in
Dia
either
nggak mau
category.
dia nggak mau kejadian dia bakal dibully lagi satu tim lah kayak di VCT yang
I love
kemarin.
the fact this rivalry is brewing.
Yang
Right?
dia
I can
mau
see it in the
miso,
future continuing to be this case if they
vanity.
keep rising at the same time.
Yeah, I said this was going to be an interesting purchase, and I think it is. Maybe not for the reasons I was expecting, because Boaster has an operator.
Well,
elsewhere, I mean, pretty much tapped out, and not for you two either. A couple of light armors dotted across the board for Fnatic. So, like I said, this could be the turning point here. This will tie the game up.
Yang di Heaven bukan sih? Iya,
And
yang di
Fnatic
Heaven.
have nothing else left.
Makanya ini Soulcast udah, gua nggak akan nge-troll lagi. Makan aku netizen.
slightly unnerving, I guess.
Gila dia dibully.
The man wasn't even known for his AWPing in CS back in the day, even on HLTV. I mean, I think it was like 12th most used gun after like a CZ and a Deagle. You know, it's not something that I instantly look to when I think of Boaster. But hey, if he's been grinding on it, no worries. Like I remember seeing like Dupree suddenly leaning towards the AWP in CS. It was a great look. Now Flash and Seeker's combo going to make it harder to deal with, give him time to kind of isolate those players on the site. And Magnum has been exactly that, isolated, but he still builds himself out. How did what? Magnum.
Gila Magnum. Magnum udah abang-abangan Blast X banget asli.
3v3 here, very doable for Fnatic. Spike actually down in the open, but Link
udah
in that
dikasih
look.
Seeker di flash, mana nembus-nembusin anjing.
Spike still needs to be
Kesel
recovered.
banget.
Ngeliatnya,
Maaf, Scream pro player, gue siapa ini ngata-ngatain dia, maaf.
There it is, found. Link has been flanking them so often. He's been a constant nuisance through middle, whether it be in tube, whether it be through elbow. Link is always there.
Maaf.
Between him and Soulcast, these two are worth their weight in gold. Soulcast has been creating so much space, so many kills coming their way. Link's frags though, 15, right? But those 15 have been round changes, in deficits, in number, disadvantages. He has constantly found that space.
I mean, I talked about it.
Takut gue ntar gue diserang sama komunitas anjing.
Link has done
komunitas pro player.
what I was talking about. In terms of expectations for this lurking role, it's so problematic for Fnatic to deal with. It's almost like they're. I don't want to say neglecting the fact that he's still up, but maybe a total oversight in some of these
netizen yang mendukung Scream gak segila Tense ya.
Okay.
Did you see the buy?
Yeah,
Did you see the
yeah.
buy?
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it. What was it? Hold on.
Tense tuh lebih gila gak sih pendukungnya daripada Scream? Scream tuh kayak gak terlalu banyak orang yang tahu soalnya dia.
Interesting
Ultimates galore though.
Nggak segila Tense ya sih. Makanya kalau menghina Scream tuh masih di tahap wajar gitu. Tapi kalau menghina Tense, hancur lah karir lu lah.
This is different, but we need him to deliver on this one. Oh.
That's not it.
No, it ain't it, Chief. And now those ultimates that you were talking about can actually find value. And this time Link gets shut down. Magnum's done really well here. The value of these frags is just huge. Flash and see because they're locked in. They might be shut down here. And the ult to pop up on the other side. Dirk has done so much damage with that.
Oh no, Dirk has been spotted out here. Yampy's also heard him. They're both posted up now. He knows that he's close, right? Oh my god. This is a big win here. Yampy's going to find it, and this could be the rotation. It's the green light. They're going to hit it. The Cosmic Divide's still up. They still have a safety net to operate behind, but look at it now.
Who makes it there
Fnatic
first?
dashing across towards B. The recon bolt maybe going to try and sell a bit of a fake back towards
Magnum's
A.
there, dude. He's on the pillar, though. They have to just run in. If they want to spike one, they've got to go in. They can't hold back. Now Mystic's going to take all the attention, allow Magnum to swing out from the pillar. And Mystic going to drag Yampy down to the depths with him. 4 seconds, there ain't no time. Soulcast has been excellent. This is even beyond him. Rotation, Soulcast is still putting up numbers. But the numbers that matter was the clock.
25.000 dari wallnya Sage. Pesan, gak boleh marah-marah Blay.
The buy wasn't good in the
AJG.
previous.
Gak boleh marah-marah anjing.
Everyone but one fell.
Kalau lagi nobar boleh marah-marah, kalau lagi main jangan. Gila kalau lagi main marah-marah.
Who was it actually? I can't even remember who it was back over, but we'll have to see what the purchase looks
Bundle
like.
baru
It's
gimana
going to be
ya?
like
Oke.
3,300, 3,500 a piece, because I'm pretty sure there was nothing left here.
Okay, they've got rifles.
It's way better than I was thinking, actually, yeah.
Yeah, they're golden. Don't worry about it. No stress, no worries.
I was worried.
I know you were. I was worried for you. Mentally, me today, chilling out. The soft. Right. at this point, 3-2 split. 2 working mid, maybe towards double door. 3 going through by main, but there's 2 posted up towards Madonna already. You're gonna have Doma right there. Flash can be toyed with whenever needed, but now the split through middle is a problem. It kind of negates a little bit of that Viper wall's safety. It kind of allows you to creep in. And speaking of creeping in, look at this. Doma gonna slice through Liquid. Link and Soulcast down. This is Fnatic like the close a booster. Tries to spin on the dime, almost catching Scream, but no. He maintains, and he needs to maintain another. Well, this is Fnatic with map 1 in the bag. He's got 3 defined spots at first. Let's see if those headshots are there. Oh, the timing. Doma catches him on that step down, and Fnatic close out map 1.
Ente bang.
Finally, I mean, I got to say it, that got a little dicey in the second half. At least, I mean, the map went the distance, right? 13-11 the scoreline, and definitely not what I would have been set up for with how that kind of played out in the first half there, Lauren. A great response from Liquid on their attacking half. A couple of players, key players coming online when they needed to in the second half. But Soulcast, man, I mean, I was going to talk about it on the desk. This is a guy for me that's had a shaky story so far throughout Valorant. Now with this change here on Sky, I'm so excited to see him deliver exactly what we've just seen there on Breeze, which is just self-sufficient fragging power.
Yeah, a lovely welcome to this matchup, and John, take me to all 3 maps. I'm down for it. I can't wait for it. But to get there, we have to go to a break first. So do stick around. We'll be back with the desk in a moment's time.
Fnatic di ban bagus sih, Fnatic di ban. Liquid di ban. Liquid di tahan Blay, tahan. Nanti netizen bakal ngebully lah. Ya Allah Blay. Kayak netizen juga tahu dah tadi lawak. Gimana barang kayak Indo nggak Blay? Enggak oke. Immortalnya banyak bacot. Siap Bang Aldi, siap Bang Aldi. Plus bongin ke sana noh. Plus bongin ke sana Scream. Yang dislike yang marah gara-gara lagi Scream Blay. Persayatan ngentot. Minggir lu jauh-jauh Aldi, kontol. Nonton sama keluarga lu sana anjing.
I mean, it doesn't get better than that. You couldn't have asked for a closer game.
Kalau dia ngamuk maki-maki screaming kayak begitu, sana dia anjing main Valorant sama keluarga lo anjing.
Moment for Soulcast, right? Almost dropping 30 kills and still coming up a little short. Of course, Fnatic taking that one away. And joining me back on the desk, we've got Lothar and Hypoc here as well. Lothar, you and I were talking away during that game. Firstly, I want to start with Team Liquid, man. They did some interesting stuff on their attacking side. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
There are two things that are like just a little bit different than we have seen from other teams. The usage of Jet on Scream is not something that we typically see from other players, right? Typically, the Jet has the main entrance on the side, and she just dashes through and goes into the side to create space. Scream is trying to do that, but from a different angle. He's like the semi-lurker for the team. We have seen him go through a lot for the tube, right? Or through mid to B entrance from the side of the tunnel. And dash from that angle, which creates a lot of uncertainty for Fnatic, but also it didn't it didn't push through the main entrance enough, right? And without Soulcast, this would even fall more apart because he was giving, you know, a hell of a performance on the new patch Sky, because he was basically a new duelist to get and compensate that lack of Jet on the main entrance. So in general, I feel like Liquid
terakhir kali yang mati scream langsung hilang dari bumi, Blay. Kagak, Blay. Nggak sekasar itu scream. Nggak sekasar Tens, anjing. Cuma kalau udah maki-maki Tens sih, Blay. Lu misalnya ngeliat Tens sabun, lu maki dikit, Blay. Buset.
But I don't think you really got to see it working how maybe it was intended, right? And it felt like whenever Scream would fall short, if ever he was dying on this semi-lurk, as you put it, then the round would have been turned sour. Right there at the end, they had to leave the A side, they had to go back into like a late B play. And the whole thing fell apart. Look, we got all the stats here as well. As mentioned, Soulcast had an incredible game. Over on the Fnatic side, we were looking at guys like Boaster. His Astra was pretty filth. Hypoc, was there anything about Fnatic? You know, we've spoken about Liquid. What were kind of your takeaways for the Fnatic squad here on this map?
I
mean, I was looking towards Magnum in particular, like I said early on throughout that cast, to be kind of that late round piece of the puzzle for Fnatic, and I don't think really they had to lean on it too often. We saw actually Link conversely on the other side for Liquid become that factor, but statistically it's really interesting to take a look at the way this actually matched up. I've just seen an update here, and I'm guessing this is probably a typo because Soulcast came through with 52% headshot percentage.
Main gue udah paling biasa, Blay, paling jago Tuhan Valorant pro player,
Blay. Looking so crisp with the Vandal. And honestly, like I said, with this patch in particular, with a couple of the changes to these agents, Soulcast on Sky is one I've been most excited to see.
Udah rosan lah di Valorant.
I mean, for me, like, one of the big kind of turning points in that game was when Durka gave us that like incredible, thrifty round with the Sheriff over towards the A-bomb site. Like, had no business winning it. I think he was 1v3 when that begins. It just felt like, you know, on the Fnatic side, we kind of had anyone being able to step up. And for Liquid, I was really looking at like Soulcast and Yampi to have a lot of the impact. Guys like Link, even though they were playing well, he was kind of off, you know, on those lurk responsibilities a lot of the time. So it felt like he was kind of hamstrung in terms of how much he could actually provide later in the round. I would love to hear your thoughts, you know, like just to kind of set us up for coming back to set up this next game. What do we need to see more from for Liquid to save this series?
Well, the thing is, in the close qualifiers, that was one main like criticism of Liquid approach to the games they had.
Datang ke puskesmas, nanyanya bukan vaksin buat corona, anjing, buat
uncertain of what they want to do. It looked a little bit better on Breeze, but on Ascent, fortunately, they will not play Ascent today. But on Ascent and Haven, the attacks were always like, we're gonna brute force our way from this angle and this angle. And
siapa yang menang? Fnatic 13-11.
They have no plan B to
fall off. MVP enggak? Sumpah, tapi beneran MVP. Tapi beneran MVP. Dia beneran jago banget. Barusan tadi jago banget. Nembaknya clean banget.
Great for Soulcast because he is less dependent on his teammates now. He can just flash for himself and just be the star player as well, which is insane. Because I remember certain Twitch chat members calling out Soulcast for bad performance in the past, right? So look at that. Soulcast is really showing up, and I feel like he's benefiting from the patch changes so much. So for me, Liquid, you have to, the team has to be very on point, and incomes like they have to be crisp
So
when it comes to what do we do on attack. Defense is working well for them.
Terus dia
Even when they
ngasih
don't
alasan
win
dia
so many
mau
rounds, which is okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree, man. And you know, when those brute force rounds do fall apart, you need to have a contingency. Right now, we're not going to learn from Liquid's mistakes. We're going to brute force right on through a break, but when we get back, we're going to have the pre-show and that second map between Liquid and Fnatic.
Jumpy timing doang sih. Udah bagus dia tadi. Timingnya jelek banget Jumpy dari tadi. Kayak enggak, kayak buset belum nyampe sedetik Blay, timingnya sedih banget.
Ruination.
I'm not the biggest knowledge base on League of Legends, so I'm choosing my words very carefully. But I know enough about it, and especially with all of the stuff that's happening with League at the moment, like an animated series and all that. This is really good timing, and this is effectively a better version of the Reaver Vandal, but in Phantom form. So all those people that were waiting for, like, I really like the Reaver Vandal, but I wish we had it for Phantom. Their prayers have been answered because this looks insane. And you said that the AES is good as well. Unfortunately, Misker isn't here.
You asked why we wanted to show you one. We love showing you guys stuff, you know, hit scan. But also, it's a long way of basically saying, if in your mind what the blade of the Rune King is, that is what we tried to make here. As opposed to just, hey, literally we took the one in League and just made it.
Yeah, like a cross-reference of all of them. Let's have a look at this new melee and game reel.
Varian.
I'm sure there's League fans that absolutely love this set, and I know the design, but I'm just not familiar with the story, so were the variants story-focused, or just kind of you taking creative liberties with the colors?
So they're not story focused.
Oh my god, that is insane.
Wah ini bagus banget anjing. Yang warna-warna bagus banget.
Based on League's chromas, we collaborated with League so that our sorry, I'm using the word chroma. That's what League calls it. Variant. The colors that League used on their Rune King skins are the same ones that we're using.
Yeah, and League has kind of
identical.
It is, yeah. They have like I think 6 to 10. Chromas. We chose 3 that we like. But they've been doing this since the beginning of the year, right? Like they had a few Ruin skins that came out with a few of their champions. I think it was like Draven, Shyvana, maybe Karmos at the time. And they had the set of variants that they always have, and they follow like a color scheme for all of them. And we were just like, okay, which one of these do we feel like we would like, because we only get to choose 3.
There's
the
one more.
final one. A nice, that is a in the cops
wrangle
and be controlled like that is absolutely mental. I don't even know what to say. There's a certain, like, I think the kill animations have become a favorite part for the community, but like
ini warna pertama gua nggak ada warna putihnya, warna ungu biasa sih. Kayak gua warna pertama kan udah pasti dapat warna orange sih sisa. But varian yang terakhir
feel like one that's like
hijau.
A nice, that is a nasty green one. It's like
he's always asking for green, yeah.
It's like a Death Knight kind of weapon. That's mean.
Oh, unlock the variants. You didn't do the variants yet.
Udah lihat.
Variants for the Guardian.
If you want to, we can also.
It's a good reminder as well, because I'll put all of the variants together as well. I'll just put them all out at once.
Where Black Mist and Ruination exist.
Ya Allah. Pencet.
Kill animations and stuff
that we use.
And the region that
Ghost, gue mau liat Ghost.
Oh,
yeah.
They might all need to pick it up as well. These are the variants. Nice purple one. Rainer mains. Gonna love that one. Fire, that's again amazing. Of course,
ada variannya, Blay.
I've been fawning over this variant, and you can start to see why. So this is amazing. I guess we've
berarti melee varian pertama ya yang ada di bundle ya.
We've shown
dari kemarin tuh lo dapat efek tapi nggak ada ding
As the outro of the video, is there any final things that you want to add with this?
Magepang ada.
Alongside the Elder Flame, this is one of the biggest things I think that you've done, and I think a lot of people are going to vibe with it.
I guess just for this melee, when you swing it, so I'll shut up so you can actually like swing it.
Buset, nutupin layar banget tuh. Dari ujung kanan sampai ujung kiri.
Champion from League that our audio designer pulled from is Draven, and he has these like spinning axes. So that sound you're hearing is him like spinning his axes.
Igo emang ada.
Nice.
Ada efeknya.
Detail is good. If it can bring it all together like that and reuse assets to really make it feel like it's part of that set, then it's definitely worth doing.
Gue nggak gitu suka melee.
A lot of
Phantom sama Ghostnya sih bakal gue naikin sih.
Very much for watching. There is some really good skin to show off to the below. What you think of the variants? What's your favorite? So I'm what's your favorite gun? And until next time, take care. We'll see you then. Here are the variants.
Reno, Omen, Yoru, Astra. Kalau Oren kayak masuk ke semuanya sih. Suara?
Variants to show off on all of the different skins. I'll put that after the outro so you can check them out. But thanks for watching. Shout out again for Riot for including us in this exclusive. It's a
wah, gila ini bagus banget. Lusa Blay ya, keluar ya? Udah mulai.
Oh, you know, Liquid have maybe seen a few snippets of information and maybe got a feel for what's going to happen here, but they're the ones that potentially can spin this in their favor, right?
Yeah. It's like almost like an asymmetric access to the information, right? It's like if you're Liquid, it feels like you've got a lot to go off of for Fnatic, and the same just can't. I know, right? Yeah, I felt good with that line as well. I'm glad you appreciated it. Lothar, I want to see more out of Scream. Do you think we're going to see, you know, a kind of similar look out of him here? I mean, we don't know if he's going to play Jet, but I'm assuming
Phantom Ghost melee-nya asik sih. Tapi kalau lo beli melee sama satu senjata udah paling bener beli bundle
and on Breeze, because there's just not many ways of doing an attack on this map. You know, you can't really be the semi-lurker that we had seen him on those maps. So hopefully we're gonna see a little bit maybe different approach, or maybe even Yampi goes back on Jet. Who knows?
Okay, well I tell you what, we're gonna get our answers pretty quickly. Look, we got the agent select ready, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes of this.
Well, here we go. Triple smokes from Fnatic.
Triple smoke lagi Fnatic anjing.
Right, that didn't change. Now for Liquid, Brimstone, Viper, very nice. So that's the main point, focal point of the utility here on the attack. And then we have the standard, which is Sova and Soulcast on the Sky. I mean, he's beautiful on the Sky. So we're looking forward to that, and Scream on Jet. It looks pretty standard, but it's a very powerful comp. It's one of the iterations essentially of the Fnatic comp that they played in the past, right? Just with Jet instead of Raze. That's about it. Go to site and then force people out with the utility and try to play post plant if possible. But we didn't see any post plant so far in this match.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that was something that we noted. It was a lot of Viper fighting within the site and you know, like playing the trade game instead. So that is an interesting thing to note. I cannot wait to get this game started, and I don't think we have to wait that much longer. Team Liquid versus Fnatic, the second map. We're heading into it now. Hypoc and Pansy, the wonderful duo. Take it away.
You know what? Can we keep him? I quite like him. He's a cheerful one, isn't he? He's got a lot of energy. He's come in, and he's very pleased to be here, it seems. So, absolutely love having Harry around. He's got more puns than I have, which is honestly a gift at this point. But we are going to be jumping into the game as soon as it looks like the players are ready to go. So we can get off of these faces and get into the game. There it is. Let's have a little peek as to what's been going down. Hypoc, your thoughts leading into this? I know you guys kind of had a quick chat on the desk about it. You kind of talked through it. Anything that's standing out to you now?
I'm surprised to see a big adjustment in terms of the composition here, but I'm waiting to see what Liquid do with this, right? And how they decide to take control. Again, eyes go towards screen. Fantastic map 1. Magnum actually going to be creeping out here, getting a little overzealous and fishing for that information, and actually going to follow up with the Owl drone here. So Liquid with a good opportunity to find themselves in an advantageous fight on A site.
Oh, I like this push up from Boast though. That's a really great reaction. He got noted towards lamps, and he knew that Sky could kind of maybe clear that. The smokes were there. He kind of leaned closer to it, brought that frenzy to a great range. And now the 3 players for Liquid are maybe leaving themselves a little bit vulnerable here. Doma wants in on the action too, gets a bit aggy on it. And look at Fnatic, this is really nice fight being taken by them. I was worried after that first pick that maybe they got the tempo wrong on it a little bit, but no, lovely recovery between Boaster there.
It's great as well because both teams pause after that. The Owl drone comes through showers, and actually Boaster, I guess that internal clock, right? It's like, yeah, there's going to be 2 posted up, right? The Owl drone's going to be protected by 1 more. Straight away pivots on to be aggressive on short, and he's rewarded massively for it. Finds the 2 key stakeholders, right, as part of this execution on the pistol round, which is Soulcast and Screen.
Oh, spot on. Wow, love a bit of that. Right, what's the buyback in looking like for Liquid? It can't be too much, right? Maybe Sheriff's a Ghost, yeah. No armor. Light utility, if any at all. Very, very, very small amount. So, apart from Scream, who's gone in a little, but I mean, again, you're trying to kind of build yourself up, get that ult online as quick as you can, but good start here for Fnatic. So we've got a timeout coming in. Unless I can't count anymore.
Yeah, I've lost the ability to count. All
British
I can think of is 11.
System is poor.
Dukung Liquid biar ada map 3.
It's not great. We didn't get set up for life.
Dukung Liquid deh.
Here we are.
Biar ada map 3.
Here we are talking over video games, Lauren.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't
what a
it?
crazy world we live in, huh?
No duelist.
Yeah. Chat, how are you doing? You having a good day? You enjoying the games? Who you feeling's got this one? I don't get to talk to you as, like, you know, directly as we did during the kind of qualifiers to this, but how's the day going? You having a nice day? People are enjoying Lothar's hair. There's a little delay, obviously. You know, we have to, you know, competitive integrity, etc. But people like the hair. People would also like the game to start, and we should have started it sooner. Yeah. But
sounds about right. They're vibing as per usual, then, right?
Yeah. They are deep in their vibes. At this point, though, I'm kind of enjoying the concept of Scream. You know. Look, if aimers really pick up the Marshall and start running with it, it is such a terrifying weapon to play with. Like, I mean, we've all seen TENS, right? We don't need to sugarcoat the pill. We don't have to pretend it's anyone else. TENS has made that gun look so viable in most rounds.
In any round.
Yeah. It's just like, well, and I mean, Scream's an aimer, right? Point-and-click adventure games for this man. Flash through the smoke there. They are fully blind. Fully blind. No escape. Scream's punished. Nice work from Durka there.
Durka pas di PCT dia main ini ya.
Again. Okay.
Ooh, there it is.
Yeah.
Show me the money, Soulcast. Let's see what we got. He still goes flash.
Sofa.
And best one, you get it back too.
Terus
maybe not in time at this point. 46
yang pakai
seconds on the board. It'd be, you know, kind of late in the day for it. Yampy's now joined him. Everyone's over here. Now we're going to Boaster tucked on the site itself, and then Magnum towards kind of, I guess,
nggak bisa kalau suara caster dong.
So it might be able to get quite close to the side at this point. Let's see what Boaster has ready for this. They're lined up on it. Now the flash already got invested, so they are going to have to just dry peek this lovely angle acquired by Boaster. It's a straight up Kiebi aim, but it's going to be fine. It gets him too. Falls away to the back of the side, leans a little on the teammates to buy some time, but he's getting split from both sides. And Liquid have done well here. Now, if they can get a spike plant, that'd be gorgeous. And if they can get the round even better, but I thought it was going to be unlikely, but Mystic now going to be put to task. Does deal with it well, finds Link, and secures a second, but it was costly.
Was indeed full, so not really opportunity to ride out the bonus here. Whether or not we see Fnatic lean back into that, maybe just run through with some sheriffs, but damage done on the side of Liquid. And again, I mentioned it briefly, 52%, Lauren. A headshot percent, and he was looking crisp throughout. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to actually see what it comes through, but there was an insane map one from Soulcast.
No, it was really solid. And speaking of, you know, Skies, we can't avoid the fact that it's actually
biar ada kill fit di atas
lah ya. See what he looks like on that. I mean, you can put your fraggers towards it these days. That thing, you know, on Sky, you can really create your own pace on it. I've been absolutely destroyed against some really good Skies who just feel like they are just able to do everything they want. Soulcast has started to clear towards Hooker. He hasn't completely taken the territory, but he's at least given the fact that there's a player potentially here. Now, I want to see what Mystic does, because there's a time limit on this. He's going to isolate a clean fight, though. Nice work with the utility kit to put Scream in a bad position, and Scream can't do much about that. It's either commit or sit there and just kind of wilt away under the Venom. So at this point, we have to look to see what they do with the other 4 players.
Gempi!
A guardian of all things.
Bikin mama bangga, Gempi! Siapa nama main Gempi? Gue lupa mulu bangsat.
Durka tucked up close in that cubby, and Liquid actually going to drift towards A site here. Now, Magnum giving away lots of sound cues here, stomping away on the breach. They're in a position to slow things down if they decide to push with that fault line.
Giselle,
and do just that.
Ayo Gempi, bikin Giselle bangga, Gempi!
Fnatic going to try and sit back and try, and actually the flash is perfect here for Doma to swing on through that smoke. Soulcast will fall. The spike will come through nonetheless.
Shock Darte kena maximum damage anjing
See
itu.
how this divides up here, right? So we've got Yampy kind of, it's not necessarily a one and done, but he's going to have to aim his way out of it. It is going to be just one. I thought, look, it's Yampy. He can swing. That gun's not bad for it either. Can be an aim as paradise, but now there's just 2. Cryptics and Link, and they've been clutch in the past, and they're going to need a little bit of that magic here as well. Numbers favorable, but these retake positions are actually kind of tricky to work with. Yeah, look how favorable that is for Liquid until Doma. Now in the 1v1, just the tap and the headshot. That's the close that he needed. Doma, gorgeous work there.
Beautiful stuff. Again, I talked about this guy. I've loved seeing him develop as a player. Filling out all these different roles for Fnatic. Closes that round out in style. Of all the things to pick up there, you drop the Spectre and find the Guardian, but finds the headshot nonetheless. And Fnatic post their 3rd with a minimum investment. There was question whether or not they were going to ride through a couple of pistols and making
apa Spectre dia tadi habis
the long play, right, in terms of the economy here and the round score so far.
Kita lihat ya. 17. Masih ada 17 anjing.
This retake here, and it all started on the back of Magnum and Doma, right, with that flash through from backside. Really well done from them.
Kalau gue jadi dia, gue nggak bakal ngambil anjing.
Scream's had a rough one so far. It's been a little unfortunate in some situations.
Gue bakal stay on Spectre bangsat. Close range gue lari-lari anjing.
Life of a jet sometimes. Now I want to see what the plan is. Cryptics, I guess, is the kind of, I was about to say meat of the sandwich. That's not a phrase I'm really going to start working towards. Scream going to set himself up to try and take some space here. But you can already see that the utility is going to, yes, divide and conquer to an extent. It gives them the site, but it does give Fnatic room to play back in. And with them still maintaining shower control, the site's looking quite small here for Liquid to operate under, but I want to see that spike plant go down.
I think actually the toxins run out here, so there's nothing protecting this plant, but Soulcast will find a kill into Mystic nonetheless. Orbital strike invest, that's going to flush out Lamps and Yampy in the process. Soulcast flashes on through, but he's not going to find anything on the other side this time. Doma will respond with his 3rd.
Oof. Blind here, but Cryptics is still the one to keep your mind on, because look at that, the post plant. That's going to be the damage coming in. Annie has the bigger weaponry. Scream just has to keep buying attention. If he can take down one, that's great. That sets up Cryptics for a little bit of success here. Just trying to spam away. Scream does find Doma. Rifle now acquired. Diffuse not coming in just yet. Time is being bought, but now he's going to stick this one. Timing is everything, and Fnatic deny it. And now they can get the Diffuse. Great work again, even though it did come down to the wire.
Fnatic tuh men kayak.
With that there, just to see where the finances sit.
Cool, calm, collected anjing.
Liquid. I see a couple of ultimates coming online here. Doma leading the charge. Obviously, you know that orbital strike invested in that previous round.
Kok ini penasaran? Gue udah dengerin dari mana?
Now up to 8 and 2.
That'll whack.
Yeah, well, a comfortable purchase, but I mean, only really
Rolling Stones anjing.
With anything left here. Soulcast to an extent.
Tapi ada di game.
Operator.
Di case dari siapa?
People in chat in particular talking about the operator pick on Sova. So it's definitely a talking point, right? Especially on attack.
Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, this could be nice. Big info found. Yeah, Soulcast is so good on these pop flashes through smokes. And again, it's why we like that Viper combo, but you can do with anything technically, and Soulcast is showing exactly why. And he gets to fall away, still has a flash in the pocket, and one kind of being recharged. Link seems very aware of that possibility, but the timing was good for Doma to at least punish Yampy. Now that's that op kind of removed from the discussion, but look at them trying to re-aggress slightly here. This is good work. It's good ground covered, and Magnum can kind of relay the information. Well, I've not seen anyone.
Wah, enak banget posisi Magnum.
They're holding on the other side.
Mystic, flying Link now. Cryptics swing on through towards Magnum, but we'll get toppled here. And it comes to a 2v2. Durka and Mystic left to try and recover this. Now, still got control of the spike, and the Viper's pick going to make it even more difficult for Liquid to dig it out of this spot. The Seekers give away the information, but not too much value considering this ultimate's invested here.
Both have flashes. Durka and Soulcast both have flashes to play with on this one as well. You can see Soulcast just treading very carefully where he goes. Now, they do have the spike to hand, but they're going to make a quick run for it. It looks like straight towards B here. Now, of course, TP is there, but they don't know that yet. They're going to be working with, you know, slightly delayed information, as they have to also be very considerate that they could be waiting out. Now, that's the usage of the flash to come through there. Just to see if anyone was on short. They're not, so this could be time to hit those rotations.
Last player standing.
And actually, Soulcast holding the TP rotate there. Durka 30 HP and nothing else to do. What else? A headshot from Soulcast to close things out. Liquid will post their first round here. As you got to say, I mean, Fnatic well set up to hold on to that, to secure that round, really. So, I guess Liquid winning out that war of attrition outside that Showers TP, even after Mystic threw down the Viper's pit.
Dia main 3 controller, 3 smoke gini pas di attacker gimana ya?
One round and you're right back into things for Liquid. They've got the decent buy apart from Yampy, who did have the op out though, so that's pretty reasonable.
Nggak mungkin main default sendiri-sendiri, dia pasti narik orang sih.
Look, who am I to
ada bridge, ada sky.
Doubt the judge? We've already seen what that thing can do potentially in the hands of the likes of Yampy in the past. So, stand Scream going to be the bodyguard.
Astra ini dipakai buat ini ya.
Gets to be put to the right place. Doma going to get the first contact, has to fall off that.
Astra dipakai buat narik-narik, buat nge-stun kayak dah. Utility-nya.
Actually, Rolling Thunder, look at this pinch on Showers here. They're looking to get very aggressive. Yampy actually going to find the first one, though. And nothing to do here. Magnum will finally find a kill, but it's all going Liquid's way here. Fnatic down to just Mystic and Boaster.
This could work out. They've had a lot of contact on A. Now, keep in mind, Boaster hasn't been checked on yet. The timing on CT is everything, right? If Link looks back towards Hookah, didn't see him. Great. That's okay.
Pick this up.
Now, I want to see where that spike goes, because he's pushing down, right? So if Cryptics and that Sova kind of give away the game, this is an irrelevant kill compared to the spike. We have to look towards Boaster. What does he do with this information now? They're going towards Long. Okay. It's a frenzy. It's not ideal, right? Now, Yampy clears it. Oh, he got heals, but Cryptic saw him too. Okay, game over. And now there's a player rolling towards Hookah. He has no idea of that. Great work from Link to lean back towards it. Create safe passage for that spike to be ferried towards site.
It's always great to watch around like that and just appreciate just the small elements of Valorant, right? The timing on like 3 or 4 different occasions throughout that. And it could play completely different, but again, diligence on the side of Liquid, kind of negating that risk, right? Reading the fact that Fnatic are going to be on lesser weaponry, maybe a judge, maybe a frenzy. Going down long there is the right decision, right? It's the safe play.
All right, Scream. See what you got here. Olds come around.
Kayak waktu itu Scream jago banget dari band yang sampai nge-kill 40 nggak sih kalau nggak salah.
How many times you see him on this now?
Turni apa ya?
It's an all-in piece up short. Now Scream gets his head above water. You can kind of see if anyone's feeling around close by. Even Doggo's going to kind of clear out towards lamps. Nothing's there. It's a pretty deep clear as well. So sights up for grabs, and there's the clear towards the back line. So we're going to be sending those down. Doesn't find anything. At this point, Liquid is being given just a slice of the site, just a piece. But bear in mind, the Mystic is just around that corner. Scream's got to clear it. Great flash comes in. Oh, he needed one of those knives to come through. And that's devastating. While all this happened, Link's found the perfect timing to strike. Gonna take down Boaster, take down another. Good timing on this again. Mystic walked just ahead of the timing, and Fnatic's answered right back, finding Link and Soulcast. And the spike is yet to be planted.
Wait, was it Soulcast with the spike?
I think so.
Flashed through there. That could be a big slip up.
I don't know if he picked it up by accident, if another player fell and he just kind of, you know, ran with it. I didn't take note, but that is a huge problem. And Doma's positioning here. No one can clear this for free. They may have an inkling, but to do...
left.
Oh, the timing. The timing's not going to work out. Oh, That's unbearably unfortunate. Yeah, the ult can come in. Mystic's going to take himself a cheesy position here, but it's all about timing. Oh, the whiff ain't good, the whiff ain't pretty, but he's got a teammate in Durka. He'll be all right.
A little too much being caught with utility out there in that round for my liking, but nonetheless, the expected outcome after first blood and the second. Actually, no, it wasn't. Sorry, Link found the first 2 kills there, so it was actually a 3v5 recovery from Fnatic. I misspoke, yeah, it was Soulcast that actually swung through with that flash. He did have the spike originally because he's the first to fall for Liquid. So again, I guess maybe we could talk about this, maybe one for Lothar on the desk, but this A-site execution just on the back of the Viper wall, right? There's not enough kind of safety to sit behind. Without that Sage wall, for example, they have to fight for control.
Yeah. Yampy, that's quick. Okay, Durka punished. Is that twice now? I think he got picked by the Marshal too at one point. Obviously, little upgrade on this bad boy. Oh, this is gonna be a follow-up as well. Yeah, Magnum can... I guess Jet denying the instant capitalizing on the flash that he would have wanted, but I like Fnatic being proactive. I think that's a really nice look for them, and they're gonna take this space and maintain it. And now there's a problem, but a great punish from Soulcast. Again, he's always their way out of trouble. Soulcast is finding them so many opportunities now when their backs are to the wall.
Again, I hate to say it, Scream having a slow start here on their attacking half once again.
Once again.
See, we touch base with that Blade Saw on the other round here now. Potentially an opportunity to build a bit of a buffer here.
Better than Scream.
At least through the home stretch of this first half, attacking half. And again, you can see a heavy
Bukan harinya nih, Blay. Bukan harinya Scream, Blay.
Fnatic look like they're trying to get up to something.
Lovely.
Scream will find Dome below to open things up.
Yeah, lovely start. Gonna forge open, take space towards A. Yampy gonna clear out, just making sure they're not walking into a stack, which, well, it will be at this point, but Scream's doing fine here. This is good. This is just a little maybe confidence building, making them feel out the game a bit. Get in the face. There it is. They're doing just fine.
There was a one tap in there somewhere. There was.
Bang Scream belum ngeng nih, Blay.
I mean,
belum ngeng.
I doubt Scream.
Kalau Bang Scream dong ngeng nangis nih Fnatic.
Building that economy. And there it is. Spike planted. Well done to Liquid to keep this clean. Or at least I'm saying that maybe a little early. But again, it should be kept clean.
One would hope, yes. Magnum just missing the timing there on... There's Link pushing towards him. And whether or not there's a consolation to be made here. Not much else for him to do than look for some damage. Soulcast and Link gonna come through. Actually, the fault line. Look how quick the fault line is now. It's disgusting.
Clean.
It's honestly.
Wait, can we get like, you know, like if we bring in sponsors for the show, can we get like a Mr. Muscle like clean round? You know what I mean? Like rather than flawless.
I like
whatever,
where you're going with that. I really like where you're going with that.
I've become like, look, I don't.
Anjing
The average age of
jahat
chat is
banget.
probably a little too young to be, you know, I guess relating to
Mr.
this.
Muscle
Ada
even still a thing?
konspirasi
I
nih.
don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but he really was at the
Yinsu would
time.
know. That's like a Yinsu question.
She'd love a bit of that. But I just really want, like, you know, products that I use in my everyday life to be sponsored. You know, like, do I need another mouse? No. But do I need maybe some clean, you know, free cleaning products? Sure. New Hoover? Absolutely. Let's have this conversation. Tesco, Waitrose, Marks and Sparks, you fancy a bit of it? It's all there. Full site execution coming in for Liquid, though. They're going to be heading on through. Boaster has been noted. Careful now, might be getting a free haircut. Scream. Oh.
And he falls to the orbital
It's a nightmare. He's had an absolute mare, but luckily the rest of Liquid are just fine. They've taken the site, they've got the spike planted, and they'll be in post plants. This retake is tricky, but luckily a bit of that utility is going to burn away towards the side on the way back through. Look at Doma, 9 HP. He's barely standing, Hypop.
That's it. Link's gonna slip through inside this smoke here. Mystic not expecting that one, but Fnatic getting all of the kills.
Look at the HP.
Soulcast now 10 seconds away from another flash. Actually, the first comes through.
Menang
Nobar's gonna
Soulcast.
give it to him. The fault line comes through. Soulcast. Another headshot from him, clutching out the round for Liquid. What I gotta say, Fnatic should have been turning that in their favor. Everything went their way in that retake. But Soulcast, man.
No right. No right.
Soulcast mulai.
And look, let's do some real talk for a second as well. I'm so happy to see Soulcast finding some, you know, comfort in this game as well. Because like the guy is so good, and he's been running that Sky, and now he's looking like he's hitting that strike. Right? This could be the patch for Soulcast to just run away with. Like, give me more of that. We see him becoming the rock of this team. Incredible.
I mean, the go-tos for me, Soulcast is, oh, hold that thought. Actually, a Scream will greet this aggression here and find two, but again, will fall here in response. But I'm going to make an awful lot of difference here in this round as it plays out now. Liquid in a 4v2.
Tapi Scream ngebuka ruang sih buat timnya. Ruang yang dibuka tuh
Soulcast previously on the Sky had flourishes of absolute
Coba jelasin
glory,
gua,
right?
tadi masih buka pakai jaing. Clearing backside dari ulti.
It's like a duelist.
Emang tadi dia nyambun aja Blay, kagak ngebuka apa-apa.
Sage, right? You can heal everybody, can flash, and very self-sufficient. This is where I want to see Soulcast find his rhythm.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's gonna be a gun recovered. Yampi's
Kalau Jambi mati menang nih.
That's the mad part for me. Yampi was like maybe 20 HP. He's getting a nice little heal up now. He'll be okay. The brilliance of having a Sky, I guess, right? As you said, it's kind of the full package. You get a little heal in there. It's not everything, but it'll get you back standing. And Yampi gets to full life. They took that fight in for a second. Lynx
Gila lo booster kalau bisa 3 lawan 1 post plan begitu sih.
Wise, we're kind of almost, you know, right back on
langsung jadi raja terakhir dia ini.
You know, is again, I got to say it, but we would have expected. I mean, traditionally, Fnatic to be a little more proactive in some of these rounds, at least, especially on their buy rounds. We know what they like to try and choreograph on bind in particular, but wait to see what happens on their attack. Viper's bit invested off the rip here on A short.
Dari kekurang ya, ini Fnatic strat baru lah. Baru season ini dipakai sama dia.
Fnatic, we'll see how Liquid responds.
Dari biasanya pakai sofa di sini.
Yeah. First move
Domanya,
right? So does this change the plan? You're gonna have to put down
strat baru nih Fnatic.
Durka long. It's gonna. I don't know if it actually noted too much. Again, keep in mind Sky was super deep, kind of behind Fountain. Yeah, Liquid, what do you do with this? You've been presented with a bit of a conundrum, right? It's like, well. All of the maps kind of
Liquid juga strat baru sih kemarin.
Now,
pas VCT yang kemarin itu Jumpy kan ya? Jet di ban ya?
As an indicator, maybe they want to be able to lean a player
over. Sage kan?
I mean, it's interesting as well with where that's invested in terms of the position on the map. They're not going to gain a lot of info, right?
Habis match ini streaming nggak boleh, gue harus istirahat
where these players are positioned.
Kalau nggak nanti gue jadi Titan.
Liquid are going to respond perfectly and stack up towards long.
The Aldrone's pulling 2 players. That Aldrone through shower is pulling so many players back over. Breach is over here. Astra's now come on over. Durka, you better be worth your weight in gold. You've suddenly heard an audio cue and you're like, wait, what? That's not what I expected to be coming through here. And here we go. Durka, high flash, but he eats it. Takes another one for good measure. And Soulcast is the better Sky today. Gonna take the space on the side, 10 seconds. They look a little confused. They're like, wait, I thought there was more players here. Wait, no, what? No, okay. And now, Old's gonna come down, denies the spike plant. Keep that in mind. This is gonna be done for. Surely there is no way for this to be shut down any longer. No. There it is. A nice attempt, but the ultimate's keeping the round safe.
And this is the thing, again, with Brimstone not being too prominent, right? These late round hits, when that orbital strike's available, it buys so much time. If you go for that plant in the last 10 seconds, and the enemy Brim has ultimate available, it can literally end the round. So again, Liquid, I gotta say it, not really giving themselves the big win conditions there. I think responding perfectly to the Seekers, right? Like, you even called that Aldrone actually giving away that paranoia was building, right? The Seekers come through, they don't really garner enough information to act upon. But, I mean, Liquid played it perfectly. The Aldrone draws the rotation, they stack up towards long, they had a perfect opportunity to come through and take control there, but that one ultimate completely flips the script.
Scream, does he see this?
Scream
I don't think he sees any of these yet. Okay, maybe just that pixel. Okay, he's seen one. but there's a whole lot more here. High flash comes through and Fnatic are on the way. They've got the site under wraps to an extent. That's a good flash though. Durka can get the 1-for-1 trade out. Magnum finds Cryptic somehow. I do not know how or what. Scream, you lucky boy. The stars have aligned for that one. Dips away on it though. Gets the fall. There's the scream you want to see.
That's the scream you want to see. Yeah, bro.
Here. These angles aren't favorable, but he finds a clean one on Scream. I thought the player in heaven would have been able to maybe see that, but no. Safety found for Magnum and now problems mounting for Liquid.
Final kebagian ya sih, Black? Ya, ini harus final EU anjing.
Stack up together. Now, still got the fog line and the flash here. Both players noted he might try and hit this TP rotation.
Now he can with the Knife just drags him back into this. No escaping for you. Wow.
That's a big win there. And again, I'm sure I'll leave it to Lothar. I know he would hate me if I covered it off, but it's really interesting to see, you know, teams here. This doesn't give you a safety net, right? You can't just go for this plant behind the wall because it's so easy to just spam through. If Scream goes unchecked and completely unpressured there, it's so difficult to get this plant off on default.
Enggak boleh, itu serem asli. Serius loh.
The T-Tours?
Alright, let's have a look at what we've got here. Now, money-wise, this is probably just a chill round.
Enemy kill.
Yeah, someone brought up Sillet Bang. Oh, you're going like bang, and the dirt is gone. Oh, there's so much potential.
Look how
here.
it gets this penny. You've seen the remix,
gosh.
yeah?
Yeah. That was so good. I mean, Sales, if you want to give us a call, got some ideas. Most is also good ideas.
How's that
There shouldn't
happening?
be. I don't know. There shouldn't be problems here. Yampi's just straight up leaping around the map. We're fine. It's all good. That was like for a second. You started off like nonsense, and somehow you know you get.
Lagi main PUBG
Kevin with a classic. 10 seconds into the round.
It's just boaster things, maybe. Ooh. A wild spray. But as it stands, I don't want to say it yet. We haven't really got to the gun rounds. I want to see if we get the third map. Where is it? Haven?
Haven was the third, and I again
Kalau
feel
Liquid atau Fnatic kalah bakal ada yang out nggak, Bray?
if this goes the distance, it would have suited Fnatic. I mean, that's what I said initially, but
Lower bracket.
I expected Liquid to take Breeze
G2 rombak roster
before I
gede-gedean.
saw, you know, composition or
Player
you know,
G2.
what look we're going to see from both. Obviously, this is going to be the
Gua
turning
pernah
point
gitu
for
main,
the
kan?
series. If the third map is forced.
PCT yang kemarin gue cuma nonton final doang.
Already, Liquid pulling ahead 2 rounds in the second half. See if Fnatic can really
Final
come to
kemarin
terms with this
Fnatic Liquid
get a
kan.
grasp on their attacking half here.
Yang buat ke
In a slow, methodical
Iceland.
start.
Terus yang menang
Again,
Liquid.
lots of the things I saw on Breeze. Again, it's always great to see teams plant the seed, right, and start that conditioning very early on in their attacking half.
Blay lu nggak jadi main di tim kah? Enggak, Blay, nggak jadi, Blay.
Posted up with a judge now, going to be a big problem here, but look at the diligence. Magnum digs it out.
Serem jadi pro player di Indo.
Gravity well
Netizennya
actually from
serem-serem banget.
post up. Clear out these angles and Scream now.
Nanti kalau
have to post up.
udah divaksin semua otaknya,
Yeah, I was a little
gue
worried.
jadi masuk prosin.
Durka maybe, you know, he popped both
Serem
flashes
banget.
to clear out towards Octagon and not kind of lent into it. But
Ngebacotin Scream-nya dimaki-maki ngentot. Gimana gue main jelek
We do
anjing.
see the lane back towards A. Now, we still have the Sky here, we still have the Viper here, so Soulcast is still lingering around. He's still very much on the back lines. Cryptics too, who both had really nice game ones, but they're both stuck in towards lamps.
30 seconds left.
I guess you could whip a flash over the top, yeah, and now maybe the swing? No
bagus
swing
banget,
off the
Ion
back
kagak
of that.
dinaikin
So,
dah.
information, sure,
Efeknya dah.
but there's still a player watching this. Magnum has been doing well at this one as well. Look at the angles. Scream. You better know which lines of
Ini
sight he's
slot
going to be
Berlin
open
3
to
atau
pretty soon,
4.
because as soon as he steps forward, you've got Oh, the
3 deh
timing.
ya.
And Scream's
flash
actually going to slip through. No way.
Oh, the timing on this. And I'm sure if you're Mystic, you're
Wah,
baffled.
bete
But
banget
great
Scream.
trade by Magnum to pick up the slack instantly. It's down to the 2. Soulcast was in lamps at the very start of this. A wide swing. He just comes running out of there. I mean, it's the Spectre. You got to make something happen with it. Dome is going to do down Yampi, though.
Dia
And it's
padahal
just
perfect
Soulcast
timing
now.
banget buat
No upgrade to
buat
hand just
ngeflank,
yet.
tapi
He's got
di-flank lagi,
3 to
anjing.
deal with, and I don't think he's got a way out.
Doesn't hit. Maybe going to look for another kill, but well handled by Doma. 3 will survive. Now look for the majority
Wah, anjing,
rule
itu
there
harusnya
around
rata tuh,
like
Mas
that.
Scream.
Liquid
Woi, Scream top
not
flag,
able
woi.
to do,
Nggak, Ding.
in my eyes.
Average combatnya dong.
damage necessary to
17.
Stop this, but the time of that again, another one of those rounds, like I said, you still appreciate it's just like half a second here and there can really make the difference. And it's not even as if Magnum slipped up there. It's just that internal clock's ticking. It's like, yeah, expecting the flank to come through. One or two players on the other team not noted just yet. You have to check both sides of that flank.
Nggak jadi kelempar.
Taking that back.
It's default. Even that flash early on, it's not going to give you much, right? An indicator, sure, but I want to see what Scream does. Oh, he's getting proactive. He's taking a lot of space here. Durka on the other side, and it's like, well, if you're going to take on another player, Durka knows what's up, but he doesn't know anymore. Scream just delivers it to the forehead. Durka's down in the dirt, and now let's look towards that spike.
Harus dipaksa, harus ada sisa satu dah. Pelurunya atau pisaunya. Jadi one tap mesin anjing.
Piss off.
Soulcast, man.
Spike down A.
Doma and Boaster will fall, and that is Spike in full control here. Inside Showers. Magnum's managed to slip through the net. Actually past Link here, who once again posted up in hooker with a judge.
Enggak sih, gue lebih
Screen will flex out a little bit.
Lebih gila ngeliat Soulcast sih. Lu lihat clean banget Blay nembaknya dibiarin kepala.
Magnum now faced with a little bit of a decision to make. Hold on to this rifle again. Looking at it, it's a Cosmic Divide and Orbital Strike as well. I'm not sure what the purchase will look like for Fnatic coming back into this, but potentially an opportunity to get something going on a lesser buy with these ultimates available.
Sekarang di Bain
obviously him away from the Rolling Thunder.
10 seconds left.
Just wait and see Scream activate. And I feel like this is it's a good start, right? A confidence builder that's not against, it's not an Eco Cobra moment. I feel like some players do respond well to them, but I think Scream, he needs to get that rifle building, maybe even just the ult, just kind of, start feeling out the game, feeling like he gets that rhythm going. He's definitely showing signs of good work in that round. Beating, Durka in that little 1v1 he was having. Nice tick in the box. Soulcast still up there as well. Like, I can't ignore the fact that Soulcast now 2 maps in a row has been mad. That was nice there. But on the other side for Fnatic, now, money-wise, let's see where we're at. 1.9 on Mystic. It's a bit... It's not terrible, right? It's not completely terrible. You could fashion something out of it, but maybe this is what the TAC timeout's for. Maybe discuss where their money's at and what they want to start doing with this, because Liquid are about to kind of start closing towards double digits.
Iya anjing, dari tadi ngeliat Soulcast enak banget nembaknya.
It's a worrying prospect.
Nggak otak anjing Soulcast.
You appreciate just kind of, I guess, how delicate the economy here is for Fnatic in the next few rounds. I mean, Magnum down to 17 armor, even if he forces up on the light, nothing else really to do. I think he saves through full util anyway, so looking like Fnatic are going to lean towards purchase here. Link just building up a nice little buffer there, riding the judge into this round once again. And again, I don't know, the last few rounds, right, they haven't explored hooker even, right? Other than that round where they did pull him out with the gravity well, they haven't been there since. So
no,
that's something that, again, can almost slip your mind, right? If it's kind of offbeat in terms of the rhythm of the game and expectations of the purchase on the other side, you don't expect somebody on a buy round to just be posted with a judge.
It's true. I guess you're just thinking rifles come out and, a tech to follow up attack? Damn. Okay, fair enough. So where's the grayscale gone? It's... Yeah, I think you're right. It'd be interesting to see if Link gets any more for this. I don't know what adjustments Fnatic can really go to here. They've been getting somewhat towards the site.
Yeah, well, I mean, look towards Durka to be the kind of key part of that process, right? Is if they did, obviously without the Raze, we always talk about Raze being the go-to, just default clear out hooker on bind, right? The boombot goes through, information gathered, nade behind the box.
4 players on
happy
A.
days.
Liquid are putting a lot of faith in a judge in the hands of Link. That's 4 players on A, and he's soloing out on B basically.
Need that back.
It's like the call is like, guys, I'm good for one. Trust me on this one.
Careful there.
Yeah, Magnum's already pinging it out.
Yep. Seems very aware of this. Now, the thing is, they have no idea of what is beyond this. That's the first piece of the puzzle recovered. Now, But I think gets shown. This is all in the call coming out from Link of, all right, there's too much here. I've heard too much presence. I'm feeling uncomfortable. Hit a rotation, do something. Or they sit purely for retake, right? That's the other option. Now, this is what this guy's good for. Clears out the corners, spots him out. He's going to have to fall away, give him space. He can come in. Now here come the rotations. So heavy peeling coming out from both sides now at this point. With the late lurk coming through the middle from the sky, potentially. Eyes on the spike, though. It's going down long. The flash comes through. The divide's already in. The site should be theirs for the taking, unless Yampy gets a little fruity.
Yampy actually body blocks Magnum swinging through there. Kills go in Liquid's favor initially, but Doma and Boaster will respond.
Yeah, but look at this split now coming in. Boaster needs to do some serious work here, but Cryptix has his number. Link's still been kept safe the entire time. He even had Soulcast by his side. Now a quick jump through the TP, they're off, right? So they both have ulted. Doma and Durka, the D&D combo.
Soulcast sudah di-short, ketahuan tapi sama
We've got 10 seconds, they need to get the spike plant, but
tapi Soulcast cuma bunuh satu aja.
Catch the cross. The spike is down, 6 seconds on the board. He's gonna have to just stick this if he wants it, but you can see a Cryptix Link, they're both closing in. Durka is being scolded and melted down, and he's gonna desperately spray on the first. And Cryptix controls the situation, but that got very dangerous very fast.
Wah gila.
What a round.
Dia mau ke B buat dapat hukanya susah banget.
Not going in Fnatic's favor
Kecuali
but responded well to, and
screamnya berani. Bukan screamnya, kagak bisa anjing masuk hukanya gimana tanya. Kok screamnya sih? Fnatic mau ke B susah anjing. Di anjing di flash. Yang jaga hookah Brimstone, tinggal di molly. Gak bisa masuk anjing, mollynya Brimstone sakit banget.
Slips through his fingers a little bit, potentially an opportunity
mollynya kelar,
to reset.
Dia tinggal nungguin pakai judge.
I guess Liquid give them 2 separate 1v1s, right?
No.
But Cryptix comes
buat
through
flash
with the trade.
You're right, and something else I want to talk about. If I can sit there and highlight the screen
susah si anjing, masuk hukanya
the
goblok.
fact that Dirk has also been quiet on this map. They're both highlight players, they can both be game
Brimstone molly
changers.
judge,
And we have the early on
meta si
invested down
anjing.
towards Shower. That's obviously from Viper. We're going to have the dog coming out on this as well. Scream, though, has found a bit more safety in this, and I want to see how he fares with this one. This is all players coming through one direction. Now, high flash to follow. Actually, really nice timing on this. That's going to kind of delay the hit a little bit. Sky was kind of thrown out of sorts, but already there it is. Durka now going to just flash on through, take the space. Scream was still recovering from that, but where is that spike? Is it down? No. Denied. Yampy going to try and keep control on the timing. As Cryptix makes his debut. Going to come through, find Magnum, but gets traded out on good work from Mystic to keep the numbers at least even. They are working with less, so all of these kills are so valuable.
Kalau ada res bisa sih ya.
No weapon upgrade, still just relying on that rifle in the hands of Durka here. See if
Dia ke A masih bisa lah. Ke B susah dia kalau ada Brimstone di molly. Di pisau nggak tuh sama Boaster.
I love that. Get proactive. Bring those frenzies into the madness. Bring the mayhem out. Mystic, though, this is now him having to resort to this. This is desperation. And now it's Durka. What on earth has just happened?
Di pisau nggak tuh?
Again, Liquid just last out in the trade-off back and forth, and Fnatic did everything they possibly could to get that round win.
Soulcast mau miss orang gagal, sekarang di pistol anjing nggak Boaster.
Yeah. The knife kill, that was actually amazing from both.
Mana weh nggak kelihatan tapi knife kill.
Well. Like the player got to a shower. You know what I mean? Like Boaster was kind of on default. The flash came in. Straight up chased him down.
Soulcast.
But worrying hours here if you're a Fnatic fan, trailing by 4 rounds here.
Right there.
A Spectre in the hands of Boaster, rifles across the board elsewhere, Orbital Strike and Seek is available, but they threw a couple of ultimates at that last round to try and secure it. Link again with the judge. Good for one, told you.
Yep, there it is. But now Yampy, he doesn't actually have full freedom. He has to commit to the long side. Seekers are coming down his way. Mystic, he's playing the game. He's trying to buy time to allow them to close the gap on this. Yampy is in trouble, and he knows it. He's being closed in on light 2. He manages somehow to stay alive. I would lose my mind, but no. Mystic has caught him. And now Liquid looking a little out of sorts on this. Let's see what they do, because how has Cryptix done this? I couldn't imagine him getting away with that, but Durka does find him just before he causes a bigger threat. Soulcast is on the site. And he is going to be noticed. Durka now knows that there's someone either CT or close by. So good information, good fact-finding by the Sky there.
Oh no, Scream's come up back through Hooker here. He's going to find Magnum. Soulcast now playing his life so effectively on site. Mystic swings through. We'll deal with that one. Soulcast now on a 1v2 with the flash is perfect, but Durka Gonna close things out, finds his third on the round, and Fnatic strike back, preventing Liquid from going to map point. And that could be one of the rounds that turns the tides here. Fnatic got to build up some momentum though. You know, coming into that previous round, a Spectre on the board. It's never nice to see.
Replay yang tadi dong, yang cucuk-cucukan.
Just a couple of things here.
Ya nge-freeze
I guess
lagi.
going astray for Fnatic in terms of the early round wins, and I think Liquid actually
Akankah teori angka 11 bisa jadi?
defying expectations, I guess, being a little more aggressive on things like Yampy on the operator, right? As a Sova, swinging down to the bottom of B long. Like, it's things like that that you can't anticipate. You cannot anticipate a player doing that on that agent.
Yeah, it's a little strange, isn't it? Like, and the thing is that we saw when Yampy went on Killjoy, it caught us off guard. We were like, well, that doesn't really suit his playstyle.
Comeback ini Blay, Fnatic Blay.
I mean, I guess maybe he's just found some comfort on this. Maybe this is something he wants to work on. But you know, it's very hard to kind of separate the individual player that Yampy is from the agent sometimes, because they don't necessarily mesh playstyle-wise.
Si Boster ngirimin video
if this doesn't suit him as much, or if it
ke
does.
Soulcast nih Blay. Soulcast kan nembaknya sangar nih Blay dari tadi ya. Nih gue pisau dikirim di WA-nya Blay. Kendor nih Soulcast nih, kendor nih.
Working out that new comp, so I don't want to be too
Kendor nih sekarang
judgy
nih.
yet. So we'll have to see how the
Lagi
compositions
diketawain
look.
dulu nih
Sky
sama
feels
Boster.
like a must-have these days, so maybe they feel that Dirk is the one to pick it up.
He's actually got something lined up here to go through TP. It's actually going to put Link inside. Do I know? Do these guys know something I don't? There's so many Guardian purchases through this game.
I mean, people. I think someone was like, I heard people theorycrafting about it. I want to see what Yampy does with this. Let's see what he looks like. How he's faring on this one. Now they cleared the site out. They have lost a player for it. That is Magnum now gone. Doma's going to be the first to stride forward. They seem paranoid about Hookah, and right to be as such, but a different approach this time. Look at the pinch through the TP when it comes through. Boaster try to clear through meticulously. They are so conditioned to be worried about Link and that judge. It's not the case. It's the ult from TP. That's what I'm waiting for. So already, the dog's going to go down. It clears out the information on towards the Viper, and that's where they're going to clear it to. Link just cleared it out. A judge, but it's Link still going to come back in being the Guardian of Hookah. Mystic has to get aggressive, but he can't do enough for it.
Gila, lu lihat gak Blay barusan apa yang dilakukan sama Liquid?
That was absolutely beautiful by Liquid. The early
pakai smoke-nya Viper ngebuang
the early efforts there
buat
to get
masuk
Link into that position with the
buat masukin smoke-nya di sini nih Blay.
Single-handedly on the back of
di
the
hole-nya
ultimate
Hookah.
to pinch through
Link
Hookah.
langsung masuk kabur ke dalam TP Blay. Next level
I
anjing.
mean, there's nothing Fnatic can do about that.
No,
Literally nothing they can do about that.
And you can see the conditioning, right? And that's perfect. Link is living in their heads rent-free. He's been such a presence towards Hookah with that judge that they have to clear it meticulously. And then he's that next layer up, right? They're playing checkers, he's playing chess. He's on that next step. It's beautiful to watch. Now at this point, though, at 12-8, we're on the cusp here. Fnatic, I thought it could be momentum. It doesn't look like that's kind of come through at this point.
There's lots of investment here towards Showers to get this early control here. If actually, I mean, it's Boaster really that can benefit from getting that ultimate online. Scream now going to try and re-explore down short on the back of Soulcast. Get some flashes through, but Doma slips through the net. Durka will find another one as well. Soulcast will respond. Considering the Seekers now, but under a lot of pressure on the back of Triple here, and Durka finally puts him down.
Certainly not over yet. Still some life in them.
Spike planted.
Yampy and Link. What do you fancy? He's got the op. I really think these big players out here going to try and clear the boxes for free. No one's there. I guess a position they don't have to worry about. You can see how paranoid they were about it. Happy to commit a fair bit of time to try and clear. Nothing for their valiant efforts, though, and no one's presenting opportunities.
Also, that operator here going to make it very difficult. I don't even think he can really swap that weapon out. So, effectively, his retake sits in the hands
Tapi
of
tadi
Link,
dia
at least
bisa
to be the
keluar dari
initiator.
Hookah gitu pakai apaan dia?
They both opt to sit back in defensive spawn, hold on to these weapons. Fnatic will
Enggak
put themselves
dibuka
up
kan
to 10
smoke-nya
rounds.
Viper tadi. Dia mana asal lompatnya dia ngerit kalau nggak ada yang mantekin Hookah gitu. Nggak ada orang yang di sini gitu, mantekin pas dia nge-cross. Itu pas round mulai kan, Blay?
Happens.
Oh, pakai flash sky.
And I want to give credit here as well.
Flash sky-nya dari.
Like I do want to highlight, Scream has recovered. It takes not every player can do it.
Flash sky-nya dari
Scream is a unique player in his own right. But the fact he recovered from a bit of a shaky start, a bit of a shaky map one, he's come back, picked up the pace a fair amount. He's kind of found that comfort here a little bit. It wasn't the dream start that you want. So good recovery from him. Now for Fnatic in this one. 3-2 split towards A. First check done, Soulcat's removed. Not much information even off the back of it. I don't even noted Astra there. But at this point, it's going to be the side take now. Encouraged. They've got that first step in. Scream needs to stand tall, and this does maintain presence enough to dissuade the playthrough shower.
Scream's just going to hop up. This is a dirty angle to swing through the Cosmic Divine. Look at that. He will boast and will fall. Great counter to it here. And actually, Viper's bit invested also.
Launching smoke.
Fnatic clutching at this one, still Scream playing just movement games around the map. Just the floor is lava and he's trying to avoid it. In a 3v2 though, Link and Yampi want this over and done with. They want to go in towards the next spin on. Let's have a bit of Link. What a way to do so. It's now down to Doma. He does have his ult online. Timing is everything. Link's HP is so low. He's got the inkling as where it may be, but time. There's no way he's got time for this.
Map 3 Blay.
Oh my word. Liquid come through. They're going to close things out here. 39 on bind.
I trusted in Doma there. I thought he had the timing down pat. I thought that was perfect for him, but apparently not the case at all. There was enough time to stick that. And Link, I've got to highlight it now. Let's talk about this too, because we've now had Soulcast and Link both having great performances. I think, again, good to have Scream getting those frags looking individually powerful. But to see Link being that kind of
10.000 dari bapaknya Fadil. Pesan, Blay kok gua 100 beps tapi 40 ping ke atas.
Blay kok gua 100 beps tapi 40 ping ke atas ya.
Scream turning around that
pakai kabelan nggak Blay?
And becoming very active towards at least the home stretch.
Kalau pakai kabelan juga terus nggak ada yang mati internet lo lancar berarti internet lo ke server Valorant emang
confidence boosters to build himself back in, which makes map 3 very interesting. I was predicting Breeze would go the other way. Bind would obviously go in Fnatic's favor. So to now see this go in the distance, I mean, it's changed my expectations. I don't know what to make of Haven.
Yeah, I think we all kind of had expectations coming into this matchup, and it's just hitting all of the good notes to this. All 3 maps, all the way. We're going the distance here, so do stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
Wangi Blay, bikin sange. Halo? Dari streamingannya bukan dari gue nih Blay. Iya mana nih live replaynya weh anjing. Wah gila. Blay bagi bracket, kagak ada Blay, Google aja Blay. Nggak penting buat gue bracket, masalahnya gue nggak bakal nontonin semuanya. Map 1 menang siapa? Oh, ini kenapa nih? Suruh refresh katanya. Oh iya. Ada apa nih? Ini iklan anjing. Apa nih gengsing nih ya, gengsing ya? Ini game apaan, Blay? Gengsing ya? Oh bukan, Blay, Maple Story.
Team Liquid managing to find a safe haven there on the map of Bind. And so now this is a series set to go the distance. And without a clear winner in sight, that game there, it was close, but in the end, Liquid are able to edge it out. I've got Lothar, I've got Hypoc with me. Hypoc's obviously just covered this whole game, so we'll give him a moment to collect his thoughts. Lothar, I'll start with you. Team Liquid, you know, they come into this, they have a lot riding on them, a lot riding on guys like Scream as well to try and step it up, and they do manage to emerge victorious. What were some of the keys for you in this Team Liquid victory?
Well, there are a few things that come to mind. Actually, there's so many things that we can talk about. Like an example, both teams didn't play Sages, right? And because of that, there's a lot of differences in executes. Because of that, we have seen Liquid trying to like, just close in on the sides, right? But the thing is, they cannot like instantly plant, so they need to take advantage of their smokes and their utility to clear corners and just get some few kills before they even start planting. Fnatic was actually guilty of that as well. They were just some runs were just straight out lost because one player was killed through a smoke. And when it comes to smokes, we have seen Soulcast take advantage of the insane amount of smokes coming from Fnatic because he was just going into a smoke, he was taking some space, right, and then flashes out of it and gets a kill because of that. So and then we see Fnatic contest the one-way smokes with their own smoke. So there's so cool, so much cool stuff happening in this game is actually quite insane.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think if you were ever going to run into like a triple smoke comp, you know, the kind of guy you'd want to be would be someone like Sky, where you can throw those flashes to try and like turn the enemy's smokes into your advantage. There was also that cool moment that you picked up on, Lothar, where they used the Viper and Sky util to set up a player in the TP, which was sick. Do you want to break down why that was so cool?
That was really cool because we have seen a player from A side, that was the Viper, standing with the Toxic Orb in his hand, waiting for Brimstone to push out of hookah. He put a smoke in front of hookah so the players from Market didn't see him pass. And because of the orb that went through the teleport, it opened up the doorway and Link just did hide in the teleport. That allowed him to be safe, waiting for his ultimate to make an appearance and then push out in the crucial moment when the opponents are caught off guard. Because most likely they don't know someone is hiding in it, right? I was worried that also here
99 kali langsung masuk kompe sekali dan kecil jarang
in that teleport, but that didn't happen. Then he hits a double kill. That was one of the most crucial rounds for Liquid. It was actually quite an insane play, very smart coming from Liquid, and it was actually a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, and you know, like when you're splitting hairs as fine as a 13-9 game, winning a round like that, as we saw off the back of a little play, a little gimmicky, you know, TP is brilliant. It makes all the difference. You know, there were two teams in this game, believe it or not. Fnatic being the other one, obviously falling a little bit short here. Hypoc, I'm going to bring you in. What were your takeaways from the Fnatic squad in the agent comp?
Kita bikin map ketiga, kita bikin poll map ketiga,
experiment. The one thing, and I mentioned about this a couple of times, I was expecting to open Discord and see a couple of DMs from Lothar about the lack of the Sage pick there, but the one key thing being, I mean, the big difference here is Fnatic had nothing to close the distance, right? Even in the rounds where they were getting these early round victories, the win conditions they were looking for, they had nothing to capitalize on that space, right? And we think back to the A-site executions, Liquid had Scream, right? Without the Sage wall, that you have to take control of front showers, you have to split A, you cannot just charge down short and rely on that safety net that the Sage wall provides, right? Now, Fnatic actually, on the other hand, didn't really have anything to close that space as quickly, right? So that pop wasn't there for this composition.
Lu tadi maki-maki Scream lu pada lu ya, bareng-bareng gua, sekarang lu milih-milih Liquid lu ya.
on the space that you can get on that execution.
Penjilat
The
kalian
fact
semua.
that it wasn't there with a couple of times where people were just able to sit behind the Viper wall, and I mean, I seem to recall Scream going unchecked a couple of times outside showers where they weren't split. They put a little bit more focus on it towards the back end, but it just seemed like a little bit of an oversight in terms of composition.
Liquid and
Fnatic raised before.
Oh yeah. Well, so you know we've got quite the series on our hands. I think we can all agree with that. Soulcast 50 kills deep. Scream's awake now. Liquid are here looking to give Fnatic a run for their money. We're going to a third map, and we'll be back with that after a short break. So don't go anywhere.
Asli, tapi Soulcast-nya serem banget, Blay. Soulcast-nya nggak ngotak, anjing. Aimnya lagi clean banget. Nih ngapain ya sebelum main tadi ya Soulcast ya? Itu aim itu kayak aim yang habis didoain sama orang tua. Iya, mama papa ikhlas kamu jadi gamer. Silakan main. Wah. Langsung sangar itu, Blay. Copyright anjing. Gue fans berat Scream, Blay. Bagus. Nyabun pakai clean aimnya. Gue juga ntar mau nyabun, Blay. Iyalah, mandi sabunan gue. Lu ngantuk, Blay, anjing dah. Tapi lu mandi tapi ngantuk, anjing. Mau ngapain dulu nih 2 menit? Nikmatin aja, Blay. Belajar ngitung. Sampai tahu kan ntar lu abis nonton nobaran ini pinter. Tuh abis 30 berapa, Blay? 29. Abis 28 berapa? 27. Yakin gua lu pada tuh pinter sebenarnya. Yakin banget gua. Lu pada pinter. Kayak ya kali gitu kan. Gue udah mencoba ngedukasi lu pada, Blay, 24/7 ya kan. Kali lu pada nggak pintar-pintar, Blay. Lu pasti pintar kan. Gila lah. G2 ngeri. Tapi gue nggak bakal nobarin G2 FPX, Blay. Gue ngantuk banget. Gue soalnya habis divaksin kan. Kalau gue nobarin G2 sama FPX, ntar gue jadi Titan nih. Mau lo gue jadi Titan nih. Kalau G2 abang-abangnya siapa, Blay? Katanya nggak tahu gue nggak pernah nonton G2 anjing, asli. Gue pernah nonton G2 nggak ya? Nggak pernah deh. Si Soulcast baru pulang dari Indo, dia bohong banget lu. Cara buat viewers ngetop karena kata-kata lu gimana, Blay? Lu sakit, bego, bagus.
You might have woke up this morning and thought this was like any
G2
other
Mixwell
Wednesday, but it's not. You're getting treated to a full 3-map series in the El Clasico of European Valorant, right? We've got Liquid, we've got Fnatic, and we're going to a 3rd map. That sounds like a recipe to one hell of a series, if you ask me. Now, we've seen a good look at both of these teams so far, right? Liquid digging deep to make it happen back on Bind. How are we feeling as we head into Haven, Lothar? Are we going to see, you know, this kind of same team comp that we've been getting out of the TL guys? Thus far, it's been pretty much unchanged, but are we going to have some alterations coming through now?
it's so funny to talk about, you know, maps in general, because there's a lot of history when it comes to both teams playing Haven before the patch. But I feel like that's thrown out of the window. After the patch, we have essentially a new game where teams have to innovate. They have to feel comfortable with a completely new setup. And so far on this patch, we have only seen both Liquid and Fnatic play on Haven only once. So when it comes to Liquid, they played Breach Sky composition. And I wonder, will they play that again? Because as I said before, they were just trying to brute force their opponents on the Haven with those amount of flashes, and it was semi-successful. It didn't feel for sure Sky composition. And I wonder, will they play that again? Because as I said before, they were just trying to brute force their opponents on the position. And
soalnya gue pakai VPN, Blay. Gue pakai exit lag yang
on Haven they played Astra,
Korean download. Soalnya nggak tahu kenapa kalau IndiHome ke Twitch sering buffer anjing. Kalau gue pakai
the reason why is because Haven has a lot of orb control open towards the attackers. They have an easy access to that C-long orb, right? And the A orb is also like semi-open to the attackers as well if you take early control of that long. So you can see why those two teams are like trying to approach the map differently, but how it will be effective, as this is only the second time we're gonna see both teams on Haven. I'm just curious what it will be.
Yeah, well, you know, looking at Fnatic then on the other side, obviously for these guys, they're kind of in like a polar opposite scenario to Liquid in that Fnatic came into today winning the map pick at TL. Things were initially looking really quite good, right? Scream was having a slow start to the day. It wasn't really meshing together how Liquid wanted. Fnatic were probably feeling pretty good heading into Bind. Now all of that has been stripped away, and now it truly is anyone's game. So for Fnatic, as we get into crunch time, who should I be keeping an eye on, Hypok?
I think for me, particularly coming to Haven in terms of my agent expectations, I'm looking towards Durka and Doma. Again, for me, it needs to be a little bit of a change of pace on the side of Fnatic. In that previous, it was kind of very methodical in approach, right, with that composition. I'm expecting a little more reactive play on Haven just because we know those rotation timings and how quickly you need to pivot away. It's typically why we've seen Boaster in recent matchups obviously move towards the Astra, so they have that kind of opportunity with those mid-round calls, right, to completely switch things up.
Well, you know, agent select is one of our favorite parts. Lothar always gets excited. He always gets this look in his eye when the agent screen comes up. I can tell he's happy and he's excited. So let's take a look at what we are going to get here. Scream immediately back on the Jet Life. No surprises there. Durka's going to take one for Fnatic. You wanted to see something, you know, a little more aggression out of them. That could be how they bring that heat.
This is just it. I'm going to ignore the hover on the right side of the screen because we're not allowed to talk about that yet. Don't know who that is. But yeah, previously, obviously, against G2, looking back, the composition was this Jet and Phoenix on the side of Durka and Doma. Now, Mystic hovering's got me wondering because previously it would have been Boaster on the Astra and Mystic on the Sova. So it'll be interesting to see how that closed out. No real surprises on the side of Liquid, to be honest. Well, actually, adopting the double flash here again. This is all to build around Scream, right? Soulcast can be a little more self-sufficient now with these changes, but this is all to just be enabling Scream, right? Putting him in the position to do work.
Yeah, that is correct. And the important thing is that they play that double flashes because they want to brute force their way, right? But as I said, they didn't feel. I didn't feel like they were comfortable with that setting. But Fnatic, let's take a look at that side. Like Mystic on the Omen, right? And now when it comes to Boaster, he is on a Sova instead of an Astra. So that's a very big difference. Astra was the lurk for Boaster, right? Yeah. That was the way he was playing an attack. Now that's not going to be possible. The Sova cannot afford to be a lurker in the team. So Mystic is going to be that. So it's a big change for Fnatic, for sure.
Yeah, right? I mean, I've always known Boaster as this Astra player here. So this has got me excited. Let's get ready then, because this game is about to begin. The third map, it's Haven, Fnatic taking on Team Liquid, and the ever wonderful Hypok and Pansy to take us into game.
Thank you so much. And yeah, what a way to lead into this final map between these two. Now, we have seen this in the past, right? Roll your minds back to the final that, you know, took them into Iceland when these two met for that first time. We got to really see the longevity of this potential rivalry building. And this was the first map they played, and it was a stomping 13-3 in favor to Fnatic. But that was a different time, it almost feels like. Completely different agents being rolled around here, Hypok. And now with those adjustments, we've seen Reykjavik, we've seen everything since since then, the time in between, the patch change. How do you think this changes now looking at this match? How do you think that's going to adjust? Because that was the first time we were really looking at, I think it was when we started to see Durka coming into his own. I think he was on a Sage of all things. It was a very different look, right? So this is a bit of a different game here.
It was indeed. I feel as if we could talk blank canvas here in terms of composition. We're kind of night and day from what we saw in the previous match off between these two. Again, obviously the same thing you can say on the other side of things, right? Scream coming back away from that Sage pick for Liquid previously.
Yes.
And I want to say it was one of the first times at least we saw Yampi flex onto the Killjoy against I'd say a more capable team, right? We saw Liquid kind of toy with it with a couple of other teams, but again, I think just getting shut out like that was kind of going to send Liquid always back to the drawing board in terms of that composition, particularly against Fnatic, right? And we talk about kind of stylistic matchups. Some things just don't work, right?
Yep.
And I think this here is probably a much better look in terms of Liquid. Like I said, with Scream having the day he's had, to see them still double down this composition to really try and enable him here, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I think the commitment to this, I do want to see how it now pans out, right? This is the third map, this is crunch time. And if you're wondering why it's on us for a little bit longer, one of the Fnatic players is just having a mouse issue, so hopefully they can just switch into a spare, get everything fixed up. Don't worry, we're actually not delaying the game starting, it's one of the players, so bear with us. Or just yell at us in chat, it's fine. I don't mind
Scream
either way.
into the abyss.
Why do you attack me in this way? It's what I do, all right? You know, that I just spam the little emote, you know, why people happy, and people put it back. It brings me joy, all right? That's all I need. But yeah, let's kind of then, prediction-wise, does this change your mind? Now we've seen kind of the first glimpse of the two maps. Does this kind of adjust your expectations, or are you still kind of just waiting to see? I know that's such a sitting on the fence sort of question, but I wouldn't blame you. We've seen, you know, good and bad from both sides. We've seen some players step up and then also have a quiet map or two or one and then have a very on map. So it's very hard to kind of judge where we're at. And I mean, we're seeing Phoenixes coming out. This is going to be such a different affair to even the previous statistics we've looked at.
Yeah, I think in terms of forgetting about Bind and moving on, this is a good opportunity for Fnatic to now lean back to maybe a little more of a comfort zone on Haven in particular, because like I said, they looked like they were struggling to kind of fill that gap, as you put it during the cast, right, of getting those early round wins, you know, the early win conditions online for them, and then not being able to kind of follow through on that. This composition here is going to be... Actually, it's going to flip it back in favor of Fnatic in terms of Liquid are going to have to take away some key learnings from these early rounds of how Fnatic want to play with this composition. It's going to be a completely different pace change, and I'm hoping Fnatic can come out of the gate swinging here.
We'll have to see. Again, it seems the issue has slowly begun to resolve. I'm seeing the timer tick down in game, so thank you for bearing with us. I appreciate your patience. I'm sure none of you were, as said, reeing in chat or any of the such, so we can now focus on the game in front of us. Team Liquid against Fnatic. This map has been a hard one to characterize because, as said, we've seen it go drastically to Fnatic, but I feel as though Liquid are a different team right now. But let's find out, as already Durka trying to draw first blood, but it's Soulcast to get not one, but two.
Already got himself a pistol ace today, and I'm going to open this one up as well. Scream. Close out Doma as well, so straight away this early aggression from Fnatic. Fact finders, so to say. Gonna get stomped out. Steven 2 left, and both are gonna find the first two, but there you go, Soulcast and Yampi will swing through. We'll close that out rather convincingly, honestly. I mean, numbers advantage. A little too much for Fnatic to deal with there. Didn't even come down to a spike plant conclusion anyway, but Soulcast, again, opening things up. Again, somebody said he'd already got, I think it was Harry, right? Said he'd already passed 50 kills in the series. I was like, yeah, okay, actually, that kind of makes sense. I want to see where he ends up on headshot percentage. The kill feed, you only see Soulcast's name with the headshot icon next to it today.
It's super sharp. Who's going to be on the receiving end of this? It's kind of that mirrored, okay, well, we're going to just completely go towards A, and the follow-up, it's that Sova towards short. Oh, Boaster, do him dirty, go on, get some. Yampi was right there. No fun to be had. Now, it will be a quick flank coming out from Fnatic, and keep in mind, because of the economy, we can't quite see it right now. The guns aren't up on the UI, but they will be soon enough, I'm sure. It's going to be a weaker investment, if anything at all. We saw like a shorty there, right? So it's like they had to get a little cheesy, try something out. You're not going to convert those traditionally. You're up against way better weaponry. This could be time for Cryptics to go farming, or just get right-click to absolute pieces. Now, damage has been achieved. It's now the next step. If they get it to a 2v2, then that could have been game on, but no. Scream's keeping this one safe.
Bolt line going to flush him out of that corner here, but again, Liquid just need to keep Doma contained here. Don't give away any more kills. I mean, Soulcast, the one you would probably want to look for to get this closing kill. Get the Seekers online, but Link will take it away now. And see if actually in the early round, Soulcast is going to make a play for an orb, because Seekers, big ultimate to get online, especially if you're going to ride through some Spectres here. Close that distance. It can be a real game changer in terms of getting it online nice and early, because we know it's such a low ultimate count for it. And already doing the work here. Could be a good one to ride through on this bonus.
Yeah, it's... I'll be
Straight
interested
on
to
the
see how it
Vandal. I
looks.
love that from Soulcast.
Fair enough. Let's have a look. I mean, I want to see what he does with this. If he's feeling himself a double stack towards long for Fnatic, though.
Cover going out.
Or is he Yampy on the TP across? So he's going to build towards sewer. Soulcast showing presence towards middle, no subtlety to it, but the camera, it's no threat to Magnum yet. He's fine sitting back there, and he's a man of patience, you know. I always think of Icebox now and him catching those mid-rotations. He plays his timing really well, so I don't worry too much about him when it comes to just feeling out the pressure. He does have Boaster by his side in the connector, so all somewhat okay so far. I'm going to go in. Magnum going to have some of that util potentially cleared out, but no, it actually maintains pretty well. Boaster now pushed away as well. Lots of util being invested, but not much of a commitment of players.
I guess you have to reset a little bit, get that heal off of Soulcast, and looks like they're going to drift towards A site. Now, Durka got himself tucked in behind bricks here, and Boaster now coming through. Look at that, Durka going to open things up. 2 headshots to open this round. Boaster going to follow through as well. Yampy will fall, and just Cryptics and Link left here to try and recover this round for Liquid.
Hey, look, this is what we want to see. I missed Durka on that previous map. He looked like he wasn't even there. It wasn't the Durka that we know, and this is. He's dominating these angles, just keeping him down in the sewers, unable to break out. 3 players locking this poor old Link into this. I mean, he can try and do some damage to see what he can get out of this. Oh, he's being toyed with all these angles. This could be a pickup. No, Doma, all controlled, and 5 alive Hypoc. That's really important here.
Yeah, it's big to squash that one out with a flawless round victory for Fnatic. I think actually, yeah, Soulcast had already got a couple of kills on the board, and I think had gone untagged in the second. So the fact that he was able to ride through the Vandal makes me feel as if Liquid are going to still be sitting pretty comfortable here. And actually, yeah, Yampy going to get the operator online. So sitting pretty flush, but a combined 1,500 credits left in the bank after this. Could be a pivotal round here for Fnatic to maybe build a little momentum back into this.
Wait and see. Yampy finding Mystic. That's the start. That draws blood, and I want to see if it pulls a rotation. It's a lot of faith in one touch of utility, and now they have to respect it. They have to respond accordingly. Soulcast does have the Seekers to play down. Doctor Follow doesn't go for the flash instead. Gonna know there's one towards window, might set up the jet to walk in towards it. Soulcast actually going towards sight. That's nice. That's gonna find the information that's caused these rotations. They now know what's here, but it's 3 players here. Scream up and over, eating that flash. He's in trouble now. They're all gonna swarm it, but Liquid maintain positioning. They find all 3 and clear out the back of C. It's all theirs. Durka is so far away, he can't change any part of this.
Actually, Liquid on the brink of responding with a flawless round victory of their own. Durka left to pick up the pieces here. Liquid just delaying this spike plant as long as possible. Waiting for Durka to show his hand. Look at it here. I mean, Link's now got the Rolling Thunder online. And actually, on the side of Fnatic, I mean, Durka 1 away from the Bladestorm. If you can get a kill here, and potentially even if he falls, an opportunity to maybe invest that in the next round with the lesser purchase that Fnatic will have, but we have to wait and see. Again, I gotta say, I mean, we talk about Yampy and just being unorthodox. I mean, previously talking about him running the operator on the Killjoy. Again, coming into this one after the Sova operator picks earlier. Now on the Omen. It's been a long time since we've seen an Omen running an operator. In fact, I actually think it was Eccles, right? Eccles way back in the day was the one to kind of flex onto it.
I feel like it's one of those that you do get to kind of readjust, right?
Reposition, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Yampy is born and bred in Counter-Strike mentality when it comes to, you know, operating. The guy's great at it. We know he's got aim. And I feel like if you come from that, you definitely understand the concept of what makes you feel comfortable to be able to readjust, right? And he gets that safe, get out of jail free card. So for him, he can, you know, use maybe the blind. He can use, you know, whatever he wants. He can TP anywhere he fancies. He can kind of dip to the other angles. He can still play it out. So I feel somewhat, at least like it's a little bit more suitable than some of the agents he toys with, because it has some of those, I guess, mechanics to allow that. But as it stands, big information for Durka here. Huge map territory garnered, instantly going to alleviate and kind of allow someone like Boaster now to lean towards C. Maybe this is a pressure point that it looks like Liquid want to keep exploring and exploiting. But I do want to see how maybe the Cypher is going to handle this here.
Rolling Thunder goes through, actually close off all of C's site. Doma looking to re-aggress with the run it back here. Nothing to do here for Liquid, but 2 kills in response, and Lick finally puts Doma down in that ultimate. Durka, though, look at this flank. He's already got himself tucked to the end of long.
Certainly does. We've got to see that on the screen. There it is. Durka finds a magnificent 2. That's just going to cut them off at the heels. Oh, and even Yampy couldn't adjust in time. That's the Durka you want to see. Fnatic fans, have some faith now. Durka's in the building. Great positioning and good patience to not show his hand too early.
That goes there.
Dan, actually, no, we did miss it. Durka demonstrating some solid trigger discipline there for the first to come through. It was Soulcast that swung initially, and then Link to follow up. But Doma re-aggressing, I gotta say, at just the right time after this Rolling Thunder comes through. Wait for kind of that little lull, right? The moment of silence after that ultimate comes through. And Doma coming through and clearing all that space back up. Liquid couldn't get control of the site.
Oh, Durka. Finding Scream, but a quick trade out. So both of the Jets neutralized, but they still need to land the hit towards the side. There's 2 players stacked up as well towards Sewer. Keep that in the back of your minds. It's not just Boaster. There's another. This could be a little bit of a game changer here. They might be able to find Boaster and then kind of, for a second, take their eye off the ball. But the flash is good, and Doma's there as well. Swinging from the side is just great. Even finding a falling Yampy from the heavens. And Fnatic looking like they've controlled the danger that was building.
Doma Durka udah makin duelis nih, hati-hati loh.
Down and dirty with the judge versus there. I mean, Yampy just praying somebody pushes his ultimate in heaven there.
Dia nggak pakai Sky lagi anjing.
Unfortunately, Fnatic able to strip away everything else on site. And well handled. I mean, Durka readjusting to find that kill on Scream there. Yes, he gets traded out, but that was actually crazy.
Yeah. And the comp that I'm looking at here, I keep thinking, why do I feel like I know this composition coming out? It's looking real like Sentinels have made an impression at the very least, so interesting to see that coming through. Very similar pick in that regard. Obviously a little different to what we saw over at Reykjavik, but since then, seems to be what they're leaning towards themselves, so clearly some method to the madness. Appreciated by both sides, it seems. And for now, 3-3. Money, probably rough around the edges here. Am I going crazy? But normally we see the icons of the weapons they have, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's fine. Just making sure that my brain hasn't just occluded that. I was sitting there going, why do I keep looking here? Why do I keep looking at the sides of the screen? And I'm missing something. But hopefully we can get that fixed up for you. I'm not sure what the issue is. Clearly the UI's, it's having a slow start to the day. But it looks like a burst towards B. Flash. Oh no, it wasn't a flash. Actually dog down towards the connector. No, back sight. So maybe the presence that we'd seen from Magnum has kind of kept that in mind, but Scream's going to work through the smoke. Now, Mystic and Boaster, do they predict it? Do they play to this? It looks like Mystic was unaware, but now he seems all too aware. Swings out on Scream, and a blink and you'll miss it. Boaster fell back towards Spawn. To be able to do that, great work from Boaster, because danger is being mounted here. This is surprising, considering the purchase.
Yeah, and Soulcard's actually finding 2 kills here. And the neural theft invested makes it very winnable for Liquid. Durka now trying to fight back in. Soulcast gonna find the 4th. Durka finally puts him down. Blaze on popped. He can't get it out in time. Cryptics gonna close things out, and a thrifty round win here for Liquid. Again on the back of Soulcast, he responds with 2 kills with the Sheriff and completely flips that round in Liquid's favor.
Spike planted.
The start we were looking for here. Durka got the op. Other than that, Soulcast continuing as he means to go on. It wasn't a one-map wonder. He's managed to find that form throughout, and the back and forth trade of rounds. And keep the economy somewhat humble. Neither side truly swelling with the economy. You know, they don't have the massive amount to play with. Flash towards mid. I think might have caught the omen there. I'm not sure if I heard the audio cue on it, but they've got an idea. And look at Durka taking so much space. There is already a player posted up here, though. This could... I don't know if he's aware of that cross coming out. Let's see if that gets any sort of punish going here, because it looks like timing's going to be a big factor. Hello? There it is. Yampy gets him, but it's at the cost of Scream now.
Actually, Yampy going to try and close the distance. Yeah, but already Mystic and Boast are going to be posted up. But left a little bit of a gap elsewhere. I mean, Magnum can potentially lean away from C side, but Doma going to get spotted out. Backside of B.
Game-nya Soulcast emang
that is the end goal here for Liquid.
Wah, dari udah matian nih. Naruh gelasnya dulu. Risih banget banget.
Nice play towards A. That's going to be pretty much Yampy to lead through on this. Actually walks the smoke. So Mystic's backside. Boast is there. Pressure from long, and here we go. Boast now in trouble. He's going to be cleared by Soulcast. Mystic still maintains, though, and that's going to be a good bit of work from him. It's going to at least keep in the realm of possibility until Link makes his mad debut, and Liquid in the end. It's the players sometimes you don't expect. I feel like the whole Liquid squad is turning up today.
Absolutely. I mean, the fault line absolutely pixel perfect there to create that opportunity on long. A really, really well considered round win there from Liquid.
Sebulan.
Again, on the back of Yampy just kind of, I want to say, taking a step back, but at least, you know, pausing, allowing that round to kind of play out. Positionally, at least, and Liquid readjust really, really well. I honestly thought with, you know, with that gap created, with Doma being spotted as a solo piece. This is out on the second there, but...
Booster.
Did he spot him?
Yes, he absolutely did.
Yeah.
The double ding, gorgeous work. Magnum somehow around on the back as well. Fnatic, they are slippery today. They are finding gaps to try and play from. Considering what they're working with, it was far from ideal, so they're making it count. Pops the ult, wants to get the fact-finding mission, see if he can catch up Scream, and he's denied it. He's held him in place for now.
The Doma I was going to say, it was like, I think he heard a step there. It was like, oh my god, he's going to come back and kill my ult. But Scream thought better of it. Half HP, well, 50 HP left. Cryptic still nice and healthy here, but find themselves in a 2v3. Not much in the form of tools or utility here for Liquid in this post plan. Just looking at, I mean, a Sheriff, maybe a Phantom on the side of Boaster, but not much in the form of weaponry for Fnatic on this retake.
Lihat di Instagramnya.
Honestly, might get it. Yeah, he does. Cryptic's really well read, finding that tempo perfectly. The right click, it evades him though. And now Scream sharp as ever. He needs to be on for... What? What just happened? 20 AHP against 13. We're all a little baffled by this. I feel like I've just been sky flashed and Mystic's just done him in.
That...
Was that a
little bit of a fat finger, I think, on the dash. And it's going to cost Liquid the round.
That had to be a misclick of some sort.
It had to be. It had to be.
There's no logical reason he'd ever do that.
It's usually Yampy, right? That he
if Yampy did, I'm like,
embrace the dash towards enemy. Yeah, unfortunately. And I mean, it's even more unfortunate that Scream's so low HP, right? It's tough to lose a round like that.
Tough to lose a round like that.
Kind of puts the brakes on. Obviously, Scream going to ride the Blade Storm through here, but not an awful lot left elsewhere. Rolling Thunder available as well. Fnatic get themselves back on the board here, and only one round separates them.
Liquid beginning to try and take the space through towards Garage. You're going to have Scream working forward, clearing towards Window. That's support here. And no presence elsewhere, so keep that in mind that they could fall back. I guess they have the camera to make sure that no one's going to be creeping up towards long, but beyond that is going to be that, you know, mid or C piece. And already, Fnatic responding in kind. They've got the players in the perfect place for it. They're not reading this incorrectly either. They're putting a lot of weight on Durka's shoulders, but he'll be fine. Gonna lead through. Only finding the Phoenix there. Don't think he managed to catch a glimpse towards maybe the Cypher or the Sova, and away we go. In towards the site. Utility now invested. Set piece in play. Scream being given nothing, as that first glimpse is what he wanted, but Yampi towards the back does find one. Scream quickly dispatching of Magnum. You can see Boaster wanting to respond in kind. It's Mystic who's gonna be there with him, turning the flash well, but he goes back, but Soulcast has the angle. And now with the spike lost, it's on Soulcast to still keep going, and there it is. Seekers go out, up and over we go. Gives away the position, but it doesn't give away the game just yet. Mystic's still alive here, and he's reaggressing.
I love that. Love that confidence, and it being Soulcast on the receiving end of it there. Mystic completely shutting that one down. It came down to a 1v1, sorry.
Gila, Soulcast kagak ada kendor-kendornya udah map 3 anjing.
These rounds, there's so little separating these teams right now. Fnatic looking so well poised in the retakes, and it's not often you say that, right? Fnatic aren't often the ones to kind of give sights up, right? They're very proactive on the defense. And to see that, I mean, it's on the back of the Rolling Thunder, right? You have to respect it now with that change. It completely closes off these sites.
Big denial of space here so far. The double stack towards A long's
Gue
paid
lapar dah. Mie goreng enak kali ya.
for Fnatic at the present, losing out on Yampi, trying to maybe get a little interested. Scream's been given a bit of room. Wonder what he does with it. Magnum seems aware, and of course Doma's going to call out that yes, there is a player that can creep forward, but what can we do? Can they safely ferry the spike through? Well, now maybe they can. Scream going to just take the scalp off of Magnum. Now I have to look for that follow-up.
Liquid at least onto decide to get this plant. Now look for Fnatic to try and retake mid. Now the key component becomes Cryptics here. As Liquid try and keep Fnatic at bay here, and they link, and it's all going in their favor right now. Boaster finally responds with a kill of his own. Look at this, the pinch comes through from Cryptics, like I said.
I know exactly.
Now the information found, this game back on. Here we go, down to the last pieces. Cryptics and Scream still finding opportunities. Still converting
map
these rounds.
Map satunya tadi Breeze, map 2 Bain, sekarang map 3 Haven. Breeze Fnatic yang menang, Bain Liquid yang menang.
Beautifully executed by Liquid.
Ini turnamen apa? VCT.
And again, Cryptics. Scoreboard doesn't reflect it, man, but you talk about impact and coming online at the right time in a round. Right there, when all of that pressure is being absorbed on site, just comes through with that swing from double doors again.
Ini gua makan mie goreng.
Gotta say,
lagi dibuatin.
Finding that kind of pivot kill to close out the round for Liquid. There's a pace change here. Liquid very quickly into A lobby here.
Soulcast is lucky to keep his life there. He was just dipping around the corner. Dirk has got... Boaster got caught. Yampi's aggression. Yampi was chasing that. He was never going to let it go. And now the timing's everything in middle. Magnum might be able to find a... Magnum is in the weirdest spot here. This is such a weird round already. They are dancing around each other. Yampi's taken a huge amount of territory towards C. They have to respond in kind. Durka, though, answers back on the link as well. They're moving in such a unique way. The spike still by spawn is heading towards C off the back of that one position. Now they know that Magnum's nearby, but he can't do much about this. It looks like Yampi's got his number. He does. He puts him in the grave. And look at the way they've approached this. Liquid just running this map.
There again, Yampi just being that unorthodox entity for Liquid. Now Mystic finds himself in a 1v4.
What the?
Somewhere. Spike ticking away. Still
Give you that feeling we're gonna be back on camera.
Yeah.
Huh? Hello?
I feel like something happened there, Lauren. Yes. If you wanna talk us through it, that would be great.
No, but
interesting.
Clearly, an issue has happened. We'll try and get this fixed up as soon as we look. We don't actually produce, observe, do anything other than sit here and talk nonsense. I know it's surprising, right? We get paid to do this, so we're as shocked as you are. But hopefully things get fixed up as soon as, right? Like we're here for the game as well. Clearly the lobby's had enough. It's a little tired. Wants a nap. Wants a break. No idea what's going on. As soon as we get word from the admins production, we'll let you guys know. That's where we're at. So we're chilling.
Well, I mean, to come back to should we talk about something? That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Let's talk about the game.
Go on, then.
So for me, I mean, it's a big statement to make. That obviously, we think back to previous performances by Fnatic on Haven in particular. This was a little more reserved, right? Especially considering their defensive half overall. Typically, we see some of these really geeky executions, being very proactive, fighting for this early territory control. They gave a lot of that up to Liquid, and I don't know if that's kind of respecting the composition almost of Liquid of being able to, get these unorthodox, the flash and dash, right? It's probably the most powerful tool for attackers to gain that control in the early round, and I think maybe Fnatic lent away from that a little bit.
Yeah, and honestly, I do want to have a little look to see if Fnatic have been playing this map much. We didn't get to see much of Fnatic during the run to this point. We were kind of checking. I think we watched a bit of G2, a couple of other teams. I want to see if they've run this comp yet, or if this is like the first time we really get to see them leaning towards this. So I'm going to have a little look towards that, because again, it might just adjust their playstyle. Maybe in review of what they saw coming out from like some Sentinels and what have you, they've decided to maybe adopt a little bit of that. And I hate saying Sentinels because every NA fan will put that emote in chat. But I mean, again, if this is something they have to just respect is what they're doing. I want to have a little check. If you
I was going to say, versus G2, obviously, like I said, the two big changes here is Boaster coming off Astra and Mystic. Yeah. Obviously switching up onto the Omen now. Obviously, Boaster picks up the Sova in place. So, but again, I don't know if really in terms of expectations coming into that series on Fnatic side, maybe had a kind of solid plan in terms of what G2 were going to bring to the table, right? It's still a very unknown entity in terms of this roster shuffle.
Yeah, so we're going to find out, and honestly, to give us a little bit more space, and you don't want to be staring at us, and you guys always say, cast to start the game, we can't. But do you know who can? The analyst desk. They have the button this time, so we're going to head over to them, and once the game is ready, they'll send us back in. So we're going to pass it over to them, and they can take you through anything to fill the time until the game's ready.
That's right. That's right. We're not lying. We do have the button. It's right here. I could push this button and the game would go live. But I'm not going to push the button yet because me and Lothar and Hypoc is also hot. Yeah, man, they're making you do some wilds today.
I can fill on either side of the camera.
So Lauren's having a great time. She's laughing right now, bro.
Put your feet up, mate. Put your feet up.
Okay, well, I tell you what, I'll start with Lothar, Hypoc, just to give you a bit of breathing room, right? Just to give you some time to digest this. What do you make of the Fnatic defense so far, Lothar? I know you've had some thoughts. I know you've been watching.
Yeah, sorry, I actually let myself do some tears. So the thing is, Fnatic on defense, their composition is a little bit tailored towards attacker's side, right? Because of the double duelist, that's kind of obvious, right? But it actually means a lot because it took a while for Liquid to realize that, but the B point, the B hold, was the weakest chain in the link, the pun, for Fnatic, right? And we have seen that twice. On a thrifty buy from Liquid, they actually went B, took easy control of it, because when Sky just used her Tasmanian Tiger, went to the side, she pushed off the Phoenix off site. Because of that, they had an easy plan, and they somehow managed to get kills even with inferior guns, right? I mean, there's a lot of to be said about Solka's performance. That probably will just end up with me saying he's a monster, because there were just so many situations where he gets a double kill, a triple kill, a quadruple kill, like the opening 2 kills on pistol round. Everything that he does is huge, and on those 50 rounds he was actually opening a lot of those situations with his first blood. It's actually quite insane how much pressure he puts on Fnatic.
Enggak, di restart tapi tadi Liquid dapat 7. Udah nggak mungkin tadi Mystic bisa nge-clutch 1-4.
Even though it only ends up on 7-5. Remember, Haven is a little bit tailored towards the attackers because of the design of the map, right? It's only the map that has 3 bomb sites. It's so hard to play defense on this map because of that fact. If you lose 1 defender early on and your opponents still have 5 attackers, or even just 4, it's 4v4, the map stays the same. While your forces are divided, you have less utility, you suddenly lose control, and you have to play retake already when you're on a back foot. So you're like double punished by making mistakes. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this composition from Liquid will now be effective on defense, because they will face a similar problem that you will see what we have seen from Fnatic, right? They will have to be a little bit more aggressive on the defense, exactly what we have seen from them on bind, where they
Dia
have
kalau
to
di
be
restart
proactive,
harusnya
even though they should be playing reactive on
udah
defense,
GH
right?
75.
So there's a little bit of a mix-up in styles because of the way both of those teams are playing their compositions. So sorry for the long monologue.
No, it's perfect, right? Considering
considering
the situation we're in, like, if there ever was a time for you to just monologue away, it's at a time like this. Something else I wanted to say, that you touch upon Soulcast and how he's been a monster. I think he really has given us like a masterclass as to why Sky is such a strong agent right now, right? Even looking back at Bind, like even taken out of the context of that incredible opener on Breeze, and, you know, discounting Haven now, the way that he was like, the way he's been using Sky to kind of turn your opponent's smokes into like his advantage, right? He's always like popping himself through. He's being such a nuisance, and he's just picked Sky into every one of these maps so far as like a staple of this team. On the other side, right?
Udah pasti GA 75.
Durka picked up
Round yang tadi juga nggak mungkin diulang
like a bit of an innovation.
Orang 1 lawan 4 ini.
But you could tell he didn't look as comfortable, right? He wasn't finding that same impact as a guy like Soulcast was. I do just love how like he's really homed in on this one agent and is just using her in such an effectful way, man. Like the guy's over 50 kills deep at the end of 2 maps. You know, you don't do that every day.
Yeah, you know, it's funny we bring it up because I feel like the stark difference between Soulcast and durka here is that durka was established as a fragger and as a jet player, as someone who is like just the nuts guy, right? That for Fnatic, the inclusion of durka and Magnum was the thing that they needed. They lacked the firepower, and those 2 players, they brought it back, right? Soulcast, historically speaking, was a little bit struggling with his identity, and I feel like this is the moment where he actually found his purpose, and he found like the way he should be playing the game, and fits him so well. So he is now enabled. Let me word it this way. And because of that, because of the fact that Sky is such a playable character, let's say like that, during this patch, she's so overall good because she's good on defense, she has a heal, right? It can be instrumental to the team survival. You have the initiation
sering
as well,
makan sama
but you
tidur
also
aja.
have
Berapa lama sih Blay? Biasanya Blay efek-efek kayak gini?
With the Tasmanian target, and you have the
yang gue baca 3-5 hari ya.
So,
tapi kalau kalian yang udah divaksin berapa lama Blay? Efek sampingnya berapa hari? Gue tidur nggak bisa ngadep ke kiri gitu soalnya kalau ketahan main sakit gitu. Tuh ya, masih main sakit. Jadi gue tidur harus ngadep ke kanan kalau nggak lurus.
To discuss when it comes to comfortability, right? It's a very hard word for me.
Yeah.
How important is that someone picks his comfort, right? When it comes to the agents, and he will play to his strengths instead of being the flexible player and playing for the team's benefit, right? There's a lot of discussion like, should I play Reyna if I'm a Reyna main, if I play competitive? Probably not, because Reyna doesn't really bring that much value for the team, right? Here,
seharian Blay Sinovac ngantuk po seharian. Lapar pun enggak. Gue bawaannya lapar dan ngantuk terus gitu.
Sky is just so powerful on the new patch, so you are in a very weird spot as a team.
Blay kalau udah pernah kena COVID, boleh divaksin nggak?
Yeah, no,
3 bulan kalau nggak salah.
I love having you here for moments like this. Like you will just imbue me with knowledge, and I just sit here and I come out the other side and I go, wow, I'm actually a smarter, more well-rounded human being now. That was brilliant. Yeah,
but that's what Chat's saying.
No,
muka lu kayak agak pucat gitu. Gue baru kelar mandi, Blay.
Full right now. Something that we can do is we can get our boasties. We have a little boaster video standing by. So let's throw over that because he's always a barrel.
Badan gue sehat, alhamdulillah nggak yang gimana-gimana.
Fans, welcome to another One Must Stay video. The format where you get to know EU pros better than you could ever wish for. Yassine was the first one forced to make a choice, but now it's time for a new guest. The master of walk-ins and post-match celebrations. Welcome to Boaster.
Hello. No. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing pretty good. Are you ready for today's competition? I know it's not really a competition, but you're going to be judged on it. I guarantee that.
I'm born ready. You know me. Love competing. Love coming second. So let's hope we can do that again.
Love coming second.
So we're going to start on maps. You've got to pick one of these to remain. Your choices are Ascent, Icebox, or Breeze.
Icebox. I want to keep that map. Yeah.
Okay. Why Icebox? What do you got against Breeze?
I haven't even played it. I played it in ranked a few times, and my Cypher's unreal.
Okay, well let's move on to round 2. On the topic of Cypher, we're gonna move to agents.
Temen lu positif 3 kali lah, jadi dia positif, terus sudah negatif lagi, terus positif lagi, negatif lagi, terus positif lagi 3 kali temen lu.
Oh. Two must get. Where
Dia
do they
ngapain
go?
mulai hidupnya mulai?
They're gone. Disintegrated. They go right into the disintegrator. They're out of the game forever.
I'm keeping Brimstone, man.
For round 3, we're speaking about damage dealing utility of mollies, but now it's time to talk about weapons. 3 of these. 1 must stay, 2 must go. The classic, the ghost, the frenzy.
I like the ghost.
The ghost?
Lu kerja apa kuliah sekarang mu? SMA gua.
Little Chris headshots. It feels nice. The frenzy is my best gun. And the classic,
umur gue 19 tahun, gue masih SMA tapi kagak naik kelas, gue tiga kali.
Like the pure skill gun, just one.
Ketahuan coli mulu di kelas.
You know.
A lot of people be getting rid of that classic. I think you're in good company there for sure.
There's probably been a lot of desk slams with the classic. Ace kind of done that. Sick coming out of CT on split, double right clicking.
Temen gue positif, besoknya nikah beli gimana tuh? Mau apa?
Oh, that's it. I'm quitting.
On the topic of guns, let's talk about skins. You gotta keep one of these around. Depths, Horizon, or Tethered Realms. Which one's staying?
They're all dog. None of them. No, if I was to choose one of these skins, I'd get rid of the Tethered Realms because that sword and knife combo is not a thing. I'm gonna go for the fish. Depths. Just get a bunch of fish on your gun. Why not? Finding Nemo.
I mean, honestly, it feels relaxing, you know, when you use that. I feel like I'm in an aquarium. Nothing bad ever happens in an aquarium. As we're talking about aquariums,
dia beli dia sekarang ya sama di kos gara-gara habis kontak sama temen yang positif. Buset, masa 3 kali Blay?
Which one are you keeping around?
Penguins.
Serem banget
ini.
You're
keeping penguins.
I don't know.
The kangaroos, the otters, you're throwing them in the incinerator? What?
To be fair, otters are really cute. I'm not throwing them into the incinerator. They can. They're
ini gimana kelanjutannya nih Blay?
I don't know.
Gimana ya?
No, I'm just gonna go for penguins because the first one that came to my head. Well, the otters are like the water dogs.
Ntar gue tanya dulu kali ya, mau yang punya Valorant ya? Kayak ada di bawah bangku gue. Weh, kelanjutannya gimana?
You've done pretty well so far.
Lagi dibenerin Blay, katanya Blay.
Time for the tough ones. Let's get you back in touch with the world, with nature. Are you keeping a forest, the ocean, or a city?
I'd say keep the ocean. Because the ocean provides us with the majority of our oxygen, so we kind of need to keep that.
Does the ocean? I thought it was the forest provides us with oxygen.
I think it's the ocean. I think it's the
cool.
I think it's the corals that provide us with like.
Weh, ngapain nih? Untung gak kebuka kategori hot tub anjing. Coli ntar lu pada. Kategori hot tub tuh maksudnya gak sih?
Could be about the ocean.
Gila, we good pitch asli. Biology lessons with Boster.
Let's talk about the final round. We're talking about IGLing, playing the game, right? Getting in there.
Yeah,
you need a hand to do that. More importantly, you need fingers.
Makan Blay.
You can only keep one.
Mie goreng Blay, buset.
Middle finger, or ring finger.
You only keep one finger, so I'm gonna be a one-fingered gamer.
Oh yeah.
It's GG.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you keep your. If I didn't have that.
Swap dulu Blay, swap dulu.
Click.
Oh, lu lihat Blay masih panas Blay.
It couldn't be the thumb, but then I couldn't hold on to the mouse. I'd have to have like a stylus pen.
I think it's one of those 3 fingers. So you'll have your pinky and you'll have your thumb, so you can still hold the mouse. Okay. But which one are you gonna use if you have to have one to do everything? Because like the index, right?
You just get rid of this one. The ring finger.
But you gotta get rid of 2. That's the thing.
Get rid of 2.
Do you keep in the middle or the index?
Yeah, I don't need these 2. I don't think. I think the index is super important, right? Because like, how are you gonna pick your nose? Nah, I'm joking. Yeah, keep index.
You're keeping the index. Okay,
yeah,
so
just testing now.
That's us done. It's been a pleasure running through these with you, Boaster. I hope you've had a little bit of fun, and I hope that you've made the right choices. Don't want to look back on this one with regret.
Well, what happens if you make the wrong choices? How do you know what's right?
Just check Reddit afterwards. You'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, if people want to start with me on Reddit, they're gonna be. They better watch out, mate, because like these guns are not here to mess around.
I love Boaster, man. You can't not love this dude. He's so pure. We have to protect him. We have to make sure that he's okay. Right now in the server, for anyone who is just tuning in, it's 5-5. We have some technical difficulties, right? The game crashed, so they're remaking the lobby and hoping to resume the game from where it crashed. So that's what's going on right now, right? And that's from the league officials.
Blay, gue lagi dekat sama cewek gue kenal ya.
Far
udah
better than
lama
I
Blay,
do, I
tapi
can
baru
tell you
chat
that.
sekarang
Lothar
ini.
at 5-5.
Tapi gue
We
nggak berani buat
have a
macarin
chance to
dia.
do like a mid-game
Kasih saran yang
This never
terbaik lah,
happened.
Blay.
So talk to me. You know, what are we looking at? Let's say for a Team Liquid victory.
For a Team Liquid victory,
Gini ya, Blay.
They're gonna have to prove themselves.
Dah lu udah ngerti dah.
Actually, before we went to that
Lu artiin sendiri dah, Blay.
I touched briefly upon that. Right?
Saran gue sih itu aja, Blay.
Combination just ensures that they have to be aggressive on the defense, and that's something that will have to just kinda use to enable the other players to take aggressive space. That's very similar to what we have seen from Fnatic on Bind. I'm not sure you guys saw it, but when they were using Astra and Breach in combination on defense, they were using like gravity wells in some crucial spots, like an example in A short when they gravity welled, and that was pushing people away from it, right? But then when they're going away from the gravity well, they were trapped into a fault line and they're getting stunned, and that allows Fnatic to take control of the map a little bit, and that bit by bit allows them to take control and reinforce other angles, other sides, other lanes that I have on the map. And this is especially crucial in Haven with those more open space lanes towards the sides, because they're free sides. Not sure what you think, Hypok, about that.
Yeah, I think it's always kind of a given to assume that there's
Coba gini. Lu lagi deket sama cewek, lu takut kan?
That's almost inherently found with a
Lu takut
composition
kan
like
kalau
this.
deket sama cewek? Coba lu deketin cowok,
I think Lothar
Blay.
makes a really interesting
Siapa tahu
point.
lu nggak
It does
takut.
then rely on finding the same, if not similar, value on defense, right? Especially if you're going to have a Jet lean away from that operator, in particular, because you need to be kind of getting in the mix of things and getting down and dirty, right? In terms of working off those flashes. So it's really interesting to see different teams kind of address it. The one thing being, I think for Liquid, it goes against the grain in terms of what we would expect to see from them on defense, right? In terms of being proactive or more almost kind of, dare I say it, funneling their opponent into a certain part of the map, right? It's never usually these aggressive team fights that come out from Liquid. It's more on the base of actually, we're going to take away some areas of control from you, force you into a choke point, and we're going to have something really geeky set up for you to walk into.
So it's almost like become this kind of tug of war across the map, right?
Yes,
where
exactly.
both teams are kind of vying for this map control because the defense is spread pretty thin, and you don't have like the you need to be kind of using your agent's aggression to your advantage. That's really sick. I love this idea of like a dynamic tug of war for map control. I'm also really hoping that we can have guys like Scream keeping up appearances. It was a very slow start to the day for him, and I think when you look at someone like Scream, and you look at a name like that, and you've got him, and he's someone, and you're going, yeah, he's looking a little bit, a little washed right now, like kind of needs to wake up a little bit. It was great to see that return to form, and I'm hoping that, you know, that like X factor of having everyone in the server feeling a bit more activated is going to give Liquid a fighting chance here on Haven. I mean, we're in an even scoreline, let's not forget, right? It's been a little while since we were in the game because of the tech problems. I know we can't wait to get back, and it should be soon. But yeah, man, I think Scream getting activated is very, very important here, just to help round out the firepower that felt a little lackluster at the start of the day.
If I can touch upon that, like, we have talked about Scream on Jet, and then the way he attacks the map on Breeze a lot, right? The way he like kind of semi-lurks through mid and goes like through double doors towards A or through the tunnel on B allows a little bit of different spacing for the team on the attack, and it's even more hard to do on Haven, but he still tries to do that. Like an example, on Haven we have seen 2 times the same execute when Scream goes through double doors and then attacks C, and he does that from the angle where he dashes in through double doors tunnel towards side, and he goes with an updraft towards the stack near the entrance of C, and that allows him to control almost the entire of the side, but he doesn't pressure the person in the backside. And that needs to be compensated then by the players in his team by using utility on the backside. But that still most likely will not push that player from that backside to CT. So it's a little bit like of a problem when it comes to creating that space inside with those kind of like side approaches.
Yeah, sorry, hi Puck. I heard you say something a moment ago. I didn't know if you wanted to. I didn't know if you wanted to come in with anything, so I was just giving you the respect.
Hey, I considered it. Now you put me on the spot. I might as well, right? The interesting thing, really, with Scream always on this jet, and I think back to previous compositions for Liquid is how prominent he can become as like a late round piece, right? And usually when we look at a jet player, it's the big tell. You see a jet dashing in the early round. It's a pretty obvious sign of what's about to happen, right? Scream's always been this really interesting late round dynamic for Liquid, and actually again on other ages, I think Phoenix on Ascent when Liquid were kind of toying with that in the early iterations and how successful it looked on these. That late A-site execution we saw time and time again. Now with this composition, they can almost sell so much of a fake in the early round, especially with the flash resets now on Sky. But also it's the secondary layer to that, right? It's figuring out, it's gathering information off of that, and then reacting accordingly. Being Scream as that late round piece, they can move him about the map wherever they need it. And on Haven, that's such a worrying prospect, really. If Scream's going to be the one that, 20 seconds left into a round, and he's the guy dashing down in your face.
Yeah, no, 100%, right? And like I feel like I'd have an even better understanding of where we're at if like Breeze had shaped up differently, right? Because I feel like I'm kind of stuck in between two minds with what to expect out of Scream. Like, are we going to have the Scream from Bayern where it was kind of, more in with the pack, like a more traditional jet, or is it going to be, like someone going for these big old lurks on you, darting in? Because that did cause them their fair share of problems. We've kind of seen both teams burned by the attempts of innovation throughout this series, it feels like. But there's nothing wrong with innovating, right? You've got to take some risks. And when you look at these squads, I think risk takers, I think trendsetters, So I do really think that this is just a great matchup that we all want to get back into. A few moments ago, I heard some rumblings that we're almost ready to get back in. So it should be just around the corner. But we have a little bit longer. So while we do still have some time, now is your chance, gentlemen. You never get this opportunity to alter your predictions, knowing what we know now in this third map. Well, give me your thoughts and feelings.
Okay, I mean, I'll start off. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a 2-0 for Fnatic anymore, Harry. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, that's a good alteration.
I think this one's going to go to Haven. And interestingly enough, I think actually Liquid are going to win out in the first half of Haven. And then Fnatic are going to come back in the second half and they're going to close out 2-1.
Ooh, okay, so you're still on that Fnatic train, right? Well, Hypoc, mate, you've got to get out of here, bud. You've got a whole game to cast, my guy. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of Hypoc. We'll get rid of me and Lothar because Team Liquid versus Fnatic is about to restart. We're back into this. Take it away.
Alrighty, so it does seem as though everything is good to go. I say that with bated breath. So we'll get there.
Maxi sekarang jadi macan. That's a good start, right?
We'll take that.
Maxi udah bukan kucing lagi, Blay.
First round, I think the UI is bugged,
Maxi udah bukan kucing. Maxi udah berevolusi menjadi macan.
Please don't shout at us.
Yeah, Maxi.
It's not us. We'll
Maxi,
do our
cakep
best,
banget.
but as soon as it's ready, we'll jump in. All right, thanks for your patience, guys. I do appreciate it. I know what it's like. It does seem as though we are going to be hopping into this, so let's have a little look how it goes down. If you are just tuning in, Liquid on the attack, Fnatic on the defensive side, just because the UI will be bugged for the first round. So, just to give you that little notion, to get that locked into your brains, and I do see the timer is now ticking down, so we should be good to jump into this. Again, I'm pretty sure it was 6-5 at this point, the last round of the first half. So we do dive in and I was sitting here just scribbling things down. The CSGO outdated, EU overrated. Long we have waited. We are back underway. Couple more seconds and it's good to go. So again, ignore the UI. We have. What?
This is a really interesting. As you can see here, Fnatic trying to fight for mid control in the early round. Durka actually opting for the knife. Magnum gonna follow up here. Yampy finding his third on the round now, Lauren. Mystic turning that flash, but Scream puts him down. An insane round from Liquid there.
Headshot machine, it all makes sense, and there it is. So Sideswap going to come in, maybe a gentleman to accord to just get that round done, leave it the way it was kind of trending, potentially. Who knows? I don't know.
Roll with it at this point.
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Just go what's in front of you. So here's going to be the side switch. So it'll be Liquid now on the defending side, of course, and Fnatic on the attacking side. I believe it will be 6-6. I'm not sure. Hopefully that UI will kick in and all will be saved. 7-5 of LIGHTSPEED policy. Right, there it is. Okay. 7-5. Let me make note of that because why do I feel like it might vanish from me? Who knows? There we are. FNC. Right, let's shake it off and get back in the game, ladies and gents. We have a great matchup in front of us. It's gone all three. And we finally get to see who gets to walk away the victor. We had Breeze coming out. We've had Scream being hot and cold, though. So you don't know what you're going to get on this final half. We had a weird dash coming in. We've had Soulcast being a mad influence. It's all there. We've got the Sentinels comp to give the NA fans a little bit of hope and interest. So already you're going to have that C-Long presence coming out.
Tadi cuma ngulang round Blade, soalnya tadi
slightly later clear through Garage, but it's worked so well. Doma is right on the cusp of this, and away we go. Doma going to step right on through.
Absolutely shut down though. Yampy actually going to find a second here. Magnum will respond, but it's on to Link elsewhere. Still got two members to dig out at the back of the side. Yampy, man, give him a frenzy. It's just disgusting what he can do with that. Boaster, the last man standing, now finds himself on a 1v3 Spike. You got to say, pretty much unretrievable at this point. Liquid going to be able to reinforce, but Yampy, man. And the site hit looks so clean as well. The confidence to just sit there behind default and wait for that to play out. It's insane stuff.
I mean, there's a reason they're making the raid boss, right? They prop him up. They go, right, let's invest. Let's get it going.
30 seconds left.
And at this point, Boaster, yeah, I mean, you've got 25 seconds. You're just going to have a chat maybe about how you want to approach the rest of the game. Not a bad shout. Run the clock down. You're probably not going to be able to get this done, really. Give yourself a fair shot towards the end of it, but maybe have that consideration how you want to approach the rest of this matchup. And there it is. Scream to find. Of course, it's a headshot. Why wouldn't it be? And 8-5 now on the board.
He will pull away a little bit here. I mean, so the opportunity with that scoreline, we always look for potentially the trailing team to tie things up with a pistol round win and a round 2 conversion, but be interested to see here. Yeah, Fnatic just going to ride through absolutely nothing invested here.
So how's your day been? It's been busy, right?
A little hectic. A little hectic. Yeah, you could say.
Yeah.
Lots of moving parts. How's yours? Did you miss me?
I was really enjoying myself. Nice relaxing time. Yampy. Look at that guy. He's so sharp with that. It's an easy one, though. Keeping it clean. No threats found. Magnum last one here. He has managed to kind of slip between the cracks. But the spike is down on C, so with all the best intention, maybe costly is the best thing they can hope for.
Whoa.
And there it is. It's going to be swept up by Soulcast. No problems there. They did manage to find Cryptics, but no big issues found. And this is going to be game on time. Fnatic need to come back in blaring. This has to be a goer from this point onwards. Otherwise, Liquid are just going to spiral out of control.
Yeah, they really will. It's a very strong half at start to the half here. Knocking on the door of double digits already. Scream going to throw a Vandal in the mix here. Link actually as well. You see spread out. Doesn't look like they're going to look for any early round. Actually, potentially a setup with Link and Scream here through sewers with that fault line potentially. And tucked down, you heard it ring off in the background and nothing garnered other than some early control towards A.
Anjing pas gue lagi ngasih lihat Maxi ada ngomblek kulitnya jadi sarung tangan gue TO lo juga mati.
The flash is going to hinder progress for a second. Mystic going to spam out towards that right side connector on towards A.
Buat jaket mantep tuh. Buat TO lo anjing.
Nothing to deny it. There it is. Spike is now in. He gets out of dodge and now it's retake time, but they got to clear so deep here.
Do indeed. Already ticking away. Fnatic looking to reinforce here with this mid hold. Actually just trying to run the clock down here. Molly going to come out first from Doma here. Get them off. Not even the half defuse comes through just yet. Lots of tools available for Fnatic to run the clock down here. And actually the trade comes through, yeah.
And Magnum playing it back in really well. Just using the lip of that window to avoid the flashes. Keep himself away from it. The spray is great. Magnum, good adjustment, and we said it's got to be go time, right? This has got to be it for Fnatic. Stop the rot. Stop Liquid getting those double digits, and they've done well to now get that first step on the board. They managed to break back in. They kept a fair few alive as well, so they should be able to maybe shift out the money a bit, kind of divvy it up between everyone. We'll have to see how it looks with this purchase coming in. It looks like I'm seeing rifles galore, so they should be happy enough.
Here, looking at ult progression, it feels as if it maybe leans as well. Actually, Scream 2 away from the Bladestorm, Soulcast 2 off the Seekers as well. So good progress shown. Those two at least here. Fnatic dual theft online. Nothing else really. I mean, Doma 2 off the run it back, but they're going to make a play for either orb here in the early round.
Patience. The timing there. Could have caught a glimpse, but didn't, I don't think. Fnatic reworking middle now. Is that Omen trying to slip through? Yes. I think they just did. Of course it's Yampy. Yeah, my bad. I was like looking at which Omen. I was like, it is Yampy. So yes, of course he's walked the smoke in middle. Set himself towards Cubby. I mean, him hearing this is big information he's going to find. I wonder how much he can call out here, and he might start actually working. Yeah, he's going to walk down. He's got the op out as well. Being avoided maybe detection with that out drone. He's seeing all this utility poured in. He's now got some core here, back towards CT. There's 2 more. Jet and Breach now joining, but the site's been smothered. Dirk is there, Magnum's there, and this is going to be dangerous. Yampy in the back lines. What are you going to do with this one? I don't know what. I mean, his flank could have been dangerous, but I mean, he had an op around the back again. Garage.
Again here, just negate all of this risk. Hold on to side, don't give away anything else. Again, an important round for Fnatic to get on the board, but talk about building back into this half. Keeping 3 alive here is absolutely key for them in terms of building up an economic buffer. Magnum, I guess, coming around to try. I mean, it would be big if they could take this away from Yampy as well. Don't get me wrong, but they could try to bait out something there. Yampy again, just that 6th sense.
He's feeling the timing, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh no!
You don't often see that. Yampy missing a, I don't want to say a sitter, but, you know, missing a shot like that, it feels like that's more than often in his wheelhouse. But yeah, did manage to get caught off, and that's the op now gone.
Again, Cryptic said that this is the important thing, right? And we talk about kind of Cypher creeping back into viability and a couple of teams leaning on him. It's so difficult when that hit comes through. If the attacking team are able to just sit and freeze for kind of 3 seconds or so, the traps get completely stripped away, right? The cages run out, and then it's almost like Cryptix is kind of just stuck there, right? With nothing else to do except hope that his teammates have got there in time. It doesn't buy the same sort of time as Killjoy.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Durka in full up now from Doma. Just going to pour through this one. Does find him on site. I think he noted Link enough, but thought there was a room. There was a little bit of room there. There wasn't. Link, though, finding some value. Scream with the ult coming online. Means this isn't going to be a walk in the park. There is still threats to be had. Information to be found. Gets great spots towards the site. I'm going to know there's one towards long. They kind of know what's up here, but Mystic trying to give him the slip, but he's just playing with those audio cues.
Dia ada flash 1. Soulcast.
Again, Fnatic going to look to hold on to 3. Scream though, Bladestorm still in a position to do some damage here.
Flash ke default.
Through, actually going to jump up with the right click. Goes
lu
straight.
Jauh lu right click tadi, lu deket lu klik kiri.
This is going horribly wrong here. Liquid finding everything on the way back in. Soulcast
closes
it out as well. The plant a little away from, I guess, being
lucu
a
juga
clean
Fnatic ya.
here allows
Udah Scream yang lucu, Fnatic yang lucu.
Advantageous 1v1 though, and that is a big slip up.
Yeah, I think once he'd expended that ult, I thought it was done for, right? I was like, well, that's the big chance gone. But the 2 right clicks, the flash, I guess, gives away. Well, I don't know where that flash was exactly positioned. I mean, it kind of curved around the site, but I don't know if they were kind of under the assumption they were still both on site. Maybe that was a really good way to double check that, or if it could have maybe picked up someone peeking on long. But whichever way, it gave the perfect peek then to Scream to work back in through. So absolute stunner of a round for them to close out, and I did not see that coming. Durka going to try and avoid the early utility, get that presence noted towards long, but this going to be screamed towards the sewers. There's a walk up from Durka, still going to try and... Oh, that's a pick out of the place. That's going to be a shutdown. Yampy jumped it, and it looks like he just took the damage to the shins.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Oh, didn't spot that head there of Scream, just picking over the top of the smoke, but only a little bit of damage goes onto Doma. Fnatic now got to recover something from this round. This is going to be Liquid on the brink of 11 here. That's going to come through. Actually slow down one. Magnum and Doma both find kills though.
A little lazy on keeping in mind that people can just walk those smokes if they fancy it. Maybe feeling that flash did more than it did. But look at the clear out from Boaster. Soundcard dead and buried. It's a 3v2. All three towards the side, two towards CT pretty much. Cryptic's trying to clear towards Graffiti off the back of the utility from Link. A nice idea, but it doesn't work out. Magnum punishes and now a 1v3. Yeah, Magnum's low, so that's going to be a quick cleanup, but that crossfire is still so good.
Well done there again. I mean, with the first blood going in their favor, they still had effectively a 3v3 on site. So for Fnatic to still commit there and come out on top.
That goes there.
Really, really well played by them. Not faltering at the pressure. I guess really after things do not go Durka's way
Tadi klik kanan jet kalau nggak 150. Tadi jumpingnya lompat belai asli.
Rolling Thunder available for Liquid.
Kalau jet
Rule theft as well.
ngedes lu dia mau klik kanan lu lompatnya berarti ya.
Weapon invested here. Diamond down to 50 HP already. Get tagged up twice through that cage actually.
You can see that Sky trying to make as much presence as possible, peacocking as large as they can to try and give away that maybe there's more than there is here. But okay, there was a window of chance there for maybe a spicy sheriff shot to come out. But you're right, yeah, look at that site clear. It's really well done. Now, keep in mind that this was a kind of a stack towards C. They were down C long. They were making some decent progress, but this A piece has worked very well.
Spike planted.
Oh, but that actually catches the head of Cryptic's. Boaster going to follow up on that damage done.
Topinya kena oleh.
Dome will find another anyway. Yampy. Oh no, Magnum might hear that.
Jet Durka sama Jet Scream bumi dan langit kan ini Scream jetnya
out of
nggak berani maju.
Unfortunately.
Durka maju terus mati juga.
Yeah, just Yampy left for the shorty now, and Magnum actually coming back this way. The timing.
Mati juga diikutin sama Doma nih. Dapat info. G2 versus FBX Nobar gantar Blay.
Within touch and distance here, Lloyd. This is
a
great answer back here.
Gue mau tidur soalnya.
Getting that previous one, the perk to go on.
Bisa tidur.
What are you going to ask me? You're asking something really awkward.
Yeah. Would it be our kind of, you know, match? We already had the tech delay,
Don't say it. Don't say it. Yinsu's not here. You don't need to say the word overtime. You do not need to say it.
It's 10-9, you know, you're feeling it. It's feeling a bit throwy on either side. It's getting a bit dicey. We'll see. It could happen. I'm all for it.
It's us.
Pagi live jam berapa?
Yeah, imagine a 2-0 one day, Hypok. I mean, we should get paid by the round at this point, I think. I think that's the way to do it. Durka trying to get paid by the frag, it looks like. Gonna get himself right towards the tip of the spear and then gonna lean in towards C, actually. So drawing the attention away from the site hit itself, but Cryptic's is still very much in this. Spots a player trying to dip through, but Doma outdoes. And now the flash goes in again. He wants more. He's going to maybe get more. Mystic's got his back. And now Yampy, he's a mile away, and he's going to want to keep that up again. This guy doesn't want to get involved. This looks like Fnatic's going to tie up the series 10-10.
Spike planted.
Well, sometimes he's just like literally 15-20 seconds behind the round, right? Again, here with the operator, it's so difficult to be, especially when first blood doesn't go your way. Yes, you can be the one to kind of, I guess, play anchor in a retake scenario, but it's so difficult. It's such a huge burden.
Karena emang dia disuruh pakai OP Blay. Weapon choice tuh udah pasti udah dipikirin sama tim mereka.
You tie things up
emang
here,
udah
10-10.
taktiknya, bukan maksa ini.
Now again, talking about expectations-wise, I mean, ultimate progress heavily in favor of Fnatic here. And financially, I think this is, I mean, unless they do force something up around this operator, this is Fnatic on the brink of going to 11.
Cover going out.
I mean, it could be a Yampy special, right? You could have one of those rounds where he finds the right placement. Maybe he can be the game changer. But you're right. This is pendulum swinging towards Fnatic building back up to this. They found the keys, it looks like. But I want to see what Yampy does. This is one of those... Why am I seeing a pause? Is it better be tactical?
Yeah,
you better be tactical. Don't you be technical.
It's grayed out. It's grayed out. So I'm feeling good initially.
Okay. Okay, it's fine. We're good. We're fine. We're here.
Well, just looking at it again, it's Link 2900, Soulcast 3400, Cryptix 3100, Scream, no Blade Storm available, so you can't ride that through on a lesser purchase here. This is a really awkward round here for Liquid. Really awkward. Because again, they give this up, Fnatic go to 11, right? And Fnatic have the buffer that even if the next round ties things up, and Liquid don't close out flawlessly, or, you know, I guess in terms of majority rule, they don't keep 4 alive, it's an awful rebuy back in. Like, it's almost worse off to not buy in this scenario and allow it to go to that round score.
Iya, aku nggak ke-TO lagi.
I mean, how do you see it? That's the way I see it here.
Bilang Maximus dikulit-kulitin jadiin jaket.
Your opportunities now, right? In terms of turning this back in your favor, it needs to be a clean round win here.
Siapa yang gue TO? Raka sama siapa ya?
Maybe judge something. It's scrappy from Liquid.
Okay, so early attention shown towards A-Long. It's not much, but I want to see if Yampy is quick to like move, if he's trying to be super proactive, if he's trying to, you know, be an instigator potentially, but it's obviously that fine line. You don't want to give away the one big leveraging factor. At this point, standing still, just seeing if maybe there's a stack, trying to feel out if there's any aggression across the map with, you know, maybe Spectres or, you know, a smaller purchase. A good approach from Fnatic to keep this in mind. Walking somewhat into the unknown. They know that the op was saved, but beyond that, it's about all you know.
Fnatic very, very slow and cautious in approach here. A little bit of an adjustment here on the side of Liquid. This is straight away the Owl Drone. Going to give away the clues. Look at all this space. They have to respect this ultimate from Doma here. Going to charge it all the way through. Soulcast finally puts it down.
Dikelirin, Blay, side-nya.
The plant will come of it. It's a full 5v5 here, Lauren.
Certainly
full
is.
5.
No flank coming in. It's all through CT or Heaven as it stands, unless no, Yampy doesn't have ult. So, I mean, would he want to?
Boast has got the Hunter's Fury. They can run the clock down here, Lauren.
I don't think they can dig them out of this.
Ada Hunter Fury.
Genuinely don't. I think this
Mystic
might be
ulti.
putting a bow on it, at least in this round. Let's find out how this retake looks. Yampy wants to change that fact. Already going to find Durka, but it's the next steps that are going to be the hard part of the puzzle. Doma still playing the time, trying to play the smoke. He gets found. Soulcast denies. Now down to 3, but if Boast is alive, that spike should be safe. It's being touched now, but there's the shutdown. Mystic and Magnum in combination. Perfectly played.
Bentar.
Beautiful stuff.
Kok bisa screen yang terakhir
out through window as well to get a better angle on that ultimate there. To close
Kok
it off,
bisa dia
almost running parallel with
terakhir
that
ada
default
di
box. So well done
Heaven.
from Fnatic. I think the reason the Liquid immediately rotate on the back of that Owl Drone is that they know what the plan's going to be, right?
Teman-temannya mencoba untuk nge-retake. Scream cuma dari Heaven no. Look sana kayak gitu deh.
They have
Kayak
to
gitu deh.
respect that. When you have somebody absolutely risk-free running it down A side in the run it back, you have to back up. There's no value
Maxi
in challenging.
jadi kulit kepalanya headshot ini pakai Vandal.
Fnatic have found the rhythm.
Lu bukan gue TO lagi, lu gua hype
Enough to
anjing. Lu
post
norak.
themselves up now onto 11. Playing back in from a
Baru gue
deficit.
bilang jangan macam-macam masalah kucing gue begituan. Lo mencari gara-gara.
The other side, Magnum and Mystic.
Trick shot. Careful.
Where do they lean now? It's kind of a lean towards C, I guess you could say. 2 towards that connector side. 2 dedicated towards the site.
Emang gameplay Scream
I
gitu lah.
guess, you know, the answer internally as well. Yeah,
Gimana
Fnatic
tuh?
have been constantly pressuring
Gitu tuh
A.
gimana, Blay? Gitu tuh gimana?
So you can see maybe Liquid trying to go, well, they won't do that again. Let's stack out C. Surely they won't, keep doing that. That's the next adjustment. So they're kind of they're trying to stick to the same tune as Fnatic may be. So this
look at the lean. Look at the lean.
Well.
Soal Maxi dikulitin lo, marah kayak udah gue bilang gue hype lo.
Here's the
Udah
utility.
gue bilang jangan aneh-aneh, langsung gue hype asli.
Perfectly for Liquid. We're gonna have to find out if they can stick the landing though. TP comes in, Mystic is there. He is large and in charge and he's pulling their attention away. Seekers come out to play as well. Flash to follow. 26 seconds and Yampi makes his appearance. Great double kill comes through. Mystic and Doma have been dealt with as Dirk is still looking for that next target. 18 seconds now, the clock beginning to rot. And here's the play back through Mystic. Wait, it's Magnum and Dirk. They still found a little bit of the time. I don't think he's got much left of this anymore. 10 seconds. He had to get that and maybe he can still do this.
He knows Link's position as well because of the rolling thunder. He has no smoke to cut this off. 41 HP here. He gets the reload off. That's huge.
Hey, Link has to just play this gun out. This is going to be so dangerous now. Durka gets cleared, stunned up, gives away the position. Link now closing the gap, but he comes out of it, but Link finds him.
Wah gila, berantakan banget, Messi banget anjing roundnya.
Excuse me, it'll be Liquid to get one back on the board as Durka tried to do everything with that. He ran through every motion. I mean, that was down to the wire for the plant. But let's kind of roll it back to the start of the round. The end was exciting, sure, but the read coming out from Liquid there.
Yeah, and
they put all their players in the right place.
Yeah, it's not falling back to it. And we talked about this on Breeze, right? Fnatic planting these seeds all the way through this half. That conditioning becomes such a prominent factor in these rounds. And Liquid not backing away from it.
Gempi bisa dapat dua
is
itu
a little better than I was expecting. Honestly, like I said, they needed to come through with a flawless victory. It's just Link that survives, but they mustered together some rifles, a Spectre in the hands of Cryptics, a Judge for Yampi. This is it now, and look at the flash come through. Doma finds two.
Oh, Soulcast and Scream have been decimated. The site's now almost open available. Link still on the back lines, playing through from hell, feeling like he might be there too, but there it is. Dirk has outdone him as well.
Phantom.
This is clean so far, and you can see Liquid clutching at straws, trying to find that cheeky kill, and they do with a nice support coming in from the Omen. But now the next step is the tricky one.
No way.
Keeping straight through. Yampi's gotten away with so much space here. They only know really about Cryptics. But now what are you going to do with the Judge, Yampi? We've already seen you basically had it nerfed. This time Boast is going to keep you at range. Not going to let you get too close here. And now you have 12 to 11. What's the money like for Liquid?
That purchase, it's in the bin. I'm pretty sure it's again possibility of a couple of rifles.
Paling banyak 3.000 harusnya.
Over 800-900 credits, but it's not going to be pretty yet. Thank God we cut away from that because it was not good to look at. But this is the opening here from Doma. Screaming Soulcast immediately falling, and like we said, those are the sorts of agents we look to find value on defense. Look at this now, the stack again.
12.345 dari Sanul. Pesan, Mansen sehat.
Sehat Nul, alhamdulillah.
He's just managing to avoid these bullets. I have no idea how he's gone away with that.
He's still one off the blade storm as well.
Kucing gue jenis apa? Versi medium kok.
Yeah. Right, well, early trade-off. I mean, you gotta say both utility.
Itu duelist, ini duelist div anjing.
3 people staring him down.
Itu duelist dari Doma yang clearing side ngasih infonya gila anjing.
See here is again very slow and methodical in approaches, just looking for a couple
perfect combination gimana lo makin dua duelist anjing.
Tinggal maju. Soulcast got himself tucked all the way deep on A long.
Jet ngebuka ngasih info kiri kanan depan belakang.
Could give it away. They think that they're secure in the flank here. It's pulled the rotation.
Dia dibunuh,
that trapwire alone,
Phoenix
Lauren, has pulled them over to A site.
Yang nge-refract. Maximus umur berapa? 1 tahunan.
30 seconds
Yampi
is well, going to be
screaming for support here. He's now noted at least 2 players coming through. Tags are coming in. He is in danger. He has to back away, give up the site. Fnatic now stride forward. He didn't fall back that far. You don't get complete freedom. But now here comes the rest of the team. Keep in mind there's still that Cypher playing through by Garage. Spike Plant comes out. You're going to have Sova left, tucked in towards the box. Where's that first contact going to come from?
They gave it to Doma as well. He's got to run it back here. They actually gave the plant to him to get his ultimate online. That could be a huge tool in this post-plant.
Ini Magnum ngelempar kits.
Yeah, mine's now. Link going to find 1. That's going to be a rifle now recovered. Fnatic down to 4.
Dia baru udah bagus banget itu. Lempar catch ngebikin orang. Lu lihat nih, Blay. Dia masih GRX jadi nggak jadi, no. Nah, sekarang dia langsung lari 3 orang dari ceiling. GG. Itu perkara posisinya Magnum dong tuh. Dia jadi nggak jadi turun, nggak jadi ngambil garage.
Just digging deep and pulling that comeback together. Honestly, I mean, fantastic. I want to watch that round again. Like I said, just the key bits of information, and unfortunately, I mean, it's a straight gamble, right? You play off that audio cue, and I think that's exactly what happened. Right? They hear the trap wire. They think that that's an attempt to secure the flank, right? For an 8 hit, the smoke comes through. That paranoia is building constantly. It sells the fake perfectly. Just a really, really well played second half from Fnatic. After I got to say, in my eyes, fell a little short in the first half. I was expecting a little more from them coming out. Unfortunate to kind of have the tempo changed a little bit of that half switch over, but yeah, they went out. I mean, I used the phrase earlier on in the broadcast, war of attrition. That's what that final map felt like.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed at this point that we got to see a breeze. I mean, it feels like it was an entire best of 5 at this point. You know, like this feels like we just went through the ringer. And again, I think it just proves that this matchup, this Fnatic Liquid showdown, is going to be a constant one, right? Like it's going to be that. I believe that we do have. Is it player of the match? Is it ready? Let's have a quick look, see if it's actually locked in. So we're going to have either Durka, Boaster, or maybe Soulcast if you're feeling like it. So
player of the
have
match.
a little look through, see what you fancy, head over to the socials and see who you fancy out of that one. I mean, I think Soulcast has got a shout, even though obviously they didn't win. I mean, that step up performance showing what Sky can do.
3 map. Nggak ada Soulcast mah udah nggak mungkin ketat anjing gamenya. Setuju nggak lo Blay sama gue Blay? Kalau Soulcast-nya nggak perform nggak mungkin seketat ini nggak sih gamenya dari tadi. Game post tadi kira-kira kalau nggak balik ke permainan liquid. Tim pro luar, buset. Baginda Scream man of the match buat Fnatic. Betul. Man of the match, Scream. Buat tim Fnatic tapi. Nobar lagi pas musuhnya aman, nggak tahu kalau ada game seru ya. Terus kalau lagi pengen, kalau nggak gue jadwalin kok, jadi santai. Yaudah Blay, thank you ya semuanya yang udah nonton, yang udah nge-like, yang udah nge-subs, thank you. Gue rehat dulu, gue nanti bakal live pagi. Kemungkinan kemarin gue live jam berapa ya? Jam 7-an ya? Mungkin nanti rada lebih telat deh, kayak gue mau sedikit lebih tidur terus dan prepare lebih matang gitu. Kayak gue kan tadi pagi kan gue nggak mandi, jadi nggak terlalu seger gitu kan, anjay. Ya udah, thank you. Yang belum like, belum subs, jangan lupa ya. Jangan lupa juga follow IG gue, tonton konten gue. Thank you semuanya. I'll see you guys in the morning. Bye bye. Mati istirahat. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong like Mansen, you know.